Wewe, Katunge, wapi uniform?
Undercover.
Just, well, mama.
Apia nade aje sasa.
Wewe ni mtu kujiachilia freelancer balance. Nasikia nimebanwa kuanza sikia hata kupumua.
Unampigia nani magoti? Yes. Rudi pale ukatengeneze chapati.
Na ndio waamini sitakuwa nakaa hapo. Mimi mambo ya kesi nimeachana naye.
Na hiyo blouse yako ni mzuri.
Tuache madharau wewe.
Wewe nasitukanga namna hii.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo liko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama PDG, ma deep state pia vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija kipwani.
The 26th of January 2026. Good morning. From where are you watching us? As you can see, already the team is in studio, ready to bring you up to speed with what is happening and also talking about matters that pertain to the nation, including politics, where it has been, that landscape has been very, very active. The tectonics are moving. And yesterday we saw the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua, getting tear-gassed in Wetima ACK Church in Nyeri. And that act has attracted a lot of condemnation from leaders, including the deputy president, that is Kithure Kindiki, and also Interior CS, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, has called on investigations, saying investigations are underway to determine what happened there. Even as that is happening, also the ODM upheavals continue to unfold, even as ODM leaders yesterday saying that the claims that the broad-based pact allows for between the former Prime Minister, that is the late Raila Odinga, and President William Ruto allowed for the formation of a coalition party. That is not what that pact is. They're still calling on for national delegates conference and full implementation of the NADCO report. They have also warned against the removal of SecGen, that is Edwin Sifuna, who also doubles up as Nairobi senator. Other matters when it comes to education, head teachers have been ordered to adhere to the presidential directive that allows all students to go back to school, including those that are supposed to transition to grade 10. Those directives have also been echoed by the Deputy President and also the CS Education, Migos Ogamba. That is part of what has been happening over this weekend. Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Mike.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, and just as you have mentioned, a lot has happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
And one thing that we should honestly condemn is the tear gassing in churches. Honestly speaking, why are you tear gassing people in church? That is really wrong. Everyone is there in church, from the little ones to the elderly and everyone in between. I mean, when they go to church, they're going to nourish their souls.
Yeah.
Not now they start choking on tear gas and their bullets flying all over the air, you know, in the air. That is really, really uncalled for, and I hope that this is something that is going to be looked into, because this is not the first time that is happening. Anyway, welcome to the program, and it is always a pleasure to have you start off your morning with us. It is the final week of the month of January, finally. And one thing for sure, we had a big game yesterday, and the great Manchester United got to go home as the winners.
Yes.
Beating Arsenal 3-2, and it was such a beautiful sight to behold. I know the two of you are not football fans, really.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, that was a beautiful win.
But
really.
let me tell you, what I would have looked for is the sentiments of one Victor Owalo, because he's a big Arsenal fan.
I wish you could call him Mandera.
Yeah, my only interest is that Arsenal still on the way to, is it the EPL? Or?
Well, it's besides the point. They're still on top of the table, we agree.
That is what matters.
But I mean,
that is what matters.
No, you know when it comes to Arsenal and Manchester United, there's usually like a strong beef between these two teams, you know? Like, so it does not matter who is on top of the table as long as one beats the other. That is what matters when it comes to these two teams. So,
wow.
And worst of all, at home?
And at home, can you imagine?
You beat Arsenal at home.
Oh, that was so beautiful. It was such a sight to behold. But anyway, football aside, today being a Monday, we talk matters family right here on Good Morning Kenya. And today we'll be looking at parenting in the digital age and some of the modern career challenges that are there when it comes to, you know, career challenges as well as parenting in this digital age. And I will be joined by Pastor Paul Blessing, who is the director, Star with Paul, as well as Elizabeth Kenywa, who is a life coach. You want to stay tuned for that conversation. Marie.
Thank you so much, Vivian. A very good morning from wherever you are watching us. Indeed, this is Good Morning Kenya, and I'll be bringing you up to speed with matters news, including what Vivian and Mike have already alluded to in as far as the chaos in the church is concerned. But Vivian, just to touch a little bit, maybe during your talk with, is it Pastor Paul? You know, career in the digital age, and I'm bringing this up because of the ISHO speed. Can I say, is it a phenomena or whatever? I don't know. There's a word I was trying to look for, but anyway. So right now, streaming has become like the big thing, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if that is something that the young people are looking at. And I mean, I know he graduated. I've followed a little bit of his story, but I'm just wondering if there's now, I mean, there are challenges in terms of now what children or the young people are choosing as career, because they're like, why do I need to go to school? Well, this guy is just streaming and traveling all over and earning billions of shillings or millions of shillings for that matter. So it will be interesting to just hear what Pastor Paul has to say about that. But let's get back to the news, where leaders from across the political divide have condemned the chaos witnessed at the ACK Witima Church in Othaya, that is in Nyeri County, where a known individual disrupted the Sunday service by throwing tear gas. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says investigations are underway to bring the perpetrators to justice.
What was supposed to be a normal Sunday morning service at the ACK Wetima Church in Othaya, Nyeri County, turned chaotic. Unknown individuals threw tear gas canisters into the church. And thereafter, congregants vacated the building and church compound. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, former Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, and their allies are among those who were in the church. Several vehicles were also vandalized. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, in a post on X, noted that violence, whether organized by political opponents, by self for sympathy, or by whoever for whatever purpose, is a criminal act that undermines democracy and violates the freedom of assembly and of worship guaranteed by the law. Commenting on the same platform, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen said investigations into the incident are underway and sponsors and perpetrators of the act will be dealt with decisively. Murkomen reiterated the government's commitment to upholding the tenets of democracy, including the right to lawful assembly and freedom of worship. Later on Sunday evening, Gachagua, who is also the Democracy for the Citizens Party leader, addressed the media and termed the incident an assassination attempt.
None of us was injured. Women, of course, and children have fainted because of tear gas, but we want to thank the church. And I want to tell our people to continue praying. God is in control.
A section of opposition leaders from Wiper Patriotic Front and Jubilee Party have also condemned the incident.
Kwa Wakenya wenzangu, wakatae katakata siasa ya utekaji nyara kwa kanisa, kuingilia mahala patakatifu na kutupa tear gas. This is God's altar, as indeed that altar at ACK Church in Nyeri.
Because the government is not in charge of this government. So it is really bad whenever somebody goes to church, he is attacked. A church is a place of worship, is a place of respect, is a place of dignity. So let it be respected the way it's supposed to be.
I take this moment to ask any narrative being created that Mount Kenya people have become the political violence base. This one has never been, shall never be allowed, and we don't tolerate one day, 2 days, tomorrow, or forever. This has never been and shall never be.
We cannot start to live in a country where the rule of law is not respected, where goons can, of all places, enter into a holy sanctuary, a church, and attack leaders just because they are different, they have differences on ideology.
Kwa sababu kulikuwa na watoto, kuna wazee, na watu wametupiwa tear gas. Kuna watu walienda hiyo kanisa, wanaweza kuwa wako wagonjwa, magonjwa tofauti tofauti. It therefore means some of them might even end up losing their lives kwa sababu ya hii tabia.
Meanwhile, the National Police Service is urging anyone who may have witnessed the incident to contact the nearest police station or call via toll-free numbers 999 or 112, WhatsApp number 0709 570 000.
ODM delegates consultative meeting held in Kisii County has endorsed Dr. Oburu Odinga as the party leader in a meeting attended by thousands of members. ODM leaders attending the delegates meeting at Sameta grounds in Gucha sub-county assured the assured the ODM supporters in the Gusii region that their interests will be protected in the negotiations with UDA party ahead of the 2027 general election. This, as perceived ODM rebels led by Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino pitched camp in Kawangware, Nairobi, where they accused the Oburu-led team of shortchanging the Odinga family in the succession of the party.
The Oburu Oginga ODM team held a series of political meetings in Kisii County to popularize the agenda to work with the ruling Kenya Kwanza regime. The brigade first held a delegates consultative meeting at Sameta grounds where Gusii delegates endorsed Senator Oburu Oginga as the rightful leader of the Orange Party.
Some people are saying that the shoes of Raila are too big for me. Even though I know they are big, but I'm trying, I cannot surrender. How many people want me to surrender? You want me to surrender? Should I continue? Should I continue?
Later, the party bigwigs engaged their supporters through a series of rallies, assuring them that their interests will be better addressed in the government rather than in the opposition.
Aidha sisi kama chama cha ODM tukae hapa kwa broad base na tushikane na ile mrengo ambayo inaamua ya kwamba kila Mkenya anafaa kuwa na maendeleo na kuwe ndani ya serikali. Ama tukae katika ile formation ya Wamunyoro ambayo inasema kuna shareholders, non-shareholders, kuna wale wanafaa na wale hawafai. Nyinyi mnaona tuende hiyo njia gani? Nyinyi wa Kisii mnaona tuende njia gani?
I want to assure our members of ODM that we will stabilize the vote. I know in the party we have seen pressure groups, caucuses coming up. That's an unhealthy party. But for sure, under the leadership of Daktari Oburu, we will stabilize the vote.
Senator Oburu encouraged the party members to remain firm and build the party, saying ODM had the presence across the country.
This party was built very, very meticulously by my brother. He built it such that it is like a government. It has structures up to the grassroots. We have structures up to the polling station. And this is a very strong party, and it is not a tribal party. It is a party for all Kenyans.
This as perceived ODM rebels, led by Embakasi East MP Babu Owino, pitched camp in Kawangware, Nairobi, where they accused the Oburu-led team of shortchanging the Odinga family in the succession of the party.
Kama mtoto wa baba mwenyewe Winnie Odinga hawezi pewa kitu kwa chama ambayo baba ndio founding member na ametengeneza chama kwa miaka 20. Winnie hawezi pewa kitu, mtoto wa baba. Wewe utapewa nini?
Tayari wamegeuza, wanasema watazungumza na UDA peke yake. Alafu tukiuliza maswali wanasema sisi ndio tumekiuka yale mambo ambayo chama kimeafikia. Mimi kama Sifuna nitakufa kwa ukweli wangu.
Hatuwezi tukauze chama chetu, chama cha Raila Amolo Odinga. Tutafanya juu chini, tulinde chama na tuendelee mbele na tuwe na wale ambao simamia chama.
A prolonged drought in Mandera County continues to threaten livelihoods among pastoral communities, with livestock deaths rising sharply and the value of remaining animals diminishing daily. The situation reflects severe nutritional stress caused by prolonged feed shortages and pasture depletion, which often leads to starvation of animals.
Keeping is the backbone of livelihoods in Mandera County. But months of failed rains have caused deaths of thousands of livestock, weakness of remaining animals, and grazing lands barren. At Mandera Town Livestock Market, traders say animals are emaciated and value is fast diminishing.
Almost 70% ama 75% wanategemea mfugo. Kwa hivyo mfugo imeisha sasa.
Lefi, Banisa and Mandera North sub-counties are hardest hit, recording high numbers of dead animals.
Kuna shida mingi hapa, wanyama wameisha. Ukileta hapa, ukenda kwa laga ama sehemu zingine unaona mfugo imekufa. Watu wote wameleta mfugo kwa soko. Saa hii mbuzi ya 15,000 ama 20 ama 17 ama 8,000 iko 1,200.
The drought has also driven up meat prices, putting it out of reach for many families as food insecurity worsen.
Tunanunua nyama hapa, sukuze ukame sana kwa hii town. Mambuzi, magamia yote imekufa ajali ya ukame. Sai tuko kwa hii butcher sasa, shida tuko naye ukame mingi sana. So serikali tunataka tuombe hii town, tuko na shida ya ukame, nyama saa hii ni 800, 1000. Saa mimi nanua hii nimepatia 500, alirudisha hii pesa nusu. So mimi napenda serikali asaidie sisi mzuri.
Humanitarian agencies, including the Kenya Red Cross, have stepped in to support affected communities.
We are supporting a very critical life-saving intervention, specifically water trucking to settlement around 24 centers, as we have supported since December 2025. And we have been supporting also with nutrition supplement. We are providing fortified porridge.
According to the National Drought Management Authority, Mandera County, one of the 10 counties in north and eastern Kenya affected by drought, is in critical alarm state. The government acknowledges the famine situation and the need for intervention.
As we seek special prayers for those affected by drought, we urge religious organizations to continue supporting the government's humanitarian and food security efforts.
Despite these calls and efforts, aid agencies warn that continued support is critical as pastoralists struggle to cope with the prolonged drought.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has assured Kenyans that the government is committed to ensuring Kenyans access quality and affordable health care under the Social Health Authority. Kindiki urged Kenyans to disregard persons seeking to discredit and undermine the implementation of the universal health care coverage, adding that 29 million Kenyans have been registered. Speaking at a church service in Maemba, Sigowet Soin constituency in Kericho County, Kindiki urged those who have not been registered to do so and access quality healthcare services.
Kuwa na CHPs, community health promoters. Mwenye alileta program ya CHPs ambayo imeajiri wananchi zaidi ya 107,000, 107,000. Mwenye alileta ni Rais William Ruto. Sasa tuko na UHPs kutusaidia afya mashinani. Na tukaleta bima ya afya ambayo inasimamiwa na SHA.
SHA is working across the country. In fact, as the county government of Kericho, through SHA, we were able to receive 72 million in the last dispatchment. NHIF could not have dispatched that.
Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema we appreciate the progress that is being made in the health sector. Now anybody that is dreaming kwamba they can roll back the gains that have been made out of SHA, out of affordable housing, you are daydreaming and you don't live in the reality of the 21st century.
From the earliest days, the church has been a place not for the righteous or perfect, but a refuge for broken and weary. At Upendo Fellowship Church in Eldama Ravine, Baringo County, the doors have always been open to those battling alcohol addiction, including those who arrive intoxicated. Here is Kasi Chanamasha with that report.
As the sun rises over Poror village in Eldama Ravine constituency, the reality of life here becomes clear. The village in Baringo County is deeply riddled with drug and alcohol abuse, with nearly every homestead sheltering at least one addict. It is in this setup that an extraordinary church has emerged, one that openly welcomes drunkards to worship. Upendo Fellowship was founded by Reverend Lawrence Bomet, a former alcoholic.
I had a desire to help those who are not going to church already, particularly those who are addicted to alcohol, because that is an issue. We've had people kill one another. We've had murders in this village. My immediate neighbor has killed his child. He was hitting his wife and he ended up killing his wife, killing his child. All related to alcohol.
Kuna siku nilikuwa kwa shamba hapo, akanisalimia na akaniambia, Ruben, habari yako mzuri? Na alikuwa na mke wake. Akaniambia, unaweza pata hao marafiki zako wale wa ndani ndani huko? Nikamwambia, ndio wapata. Akaniambia, nashukuru ukiwaleta Tukupige story kidogo nini. Na akaniambia na kidogo kwenda hivi akasimama akaniambia nataka tukuje tukunywe chai pamoja. Nikamwambia hapana, hawa watu kunywa chai. Na supu, nikamwambia hata saizi. And that's what he did.
Reverend Lawrence says instead of condemnation, he decided to create a safe space for addicts to reform, restore, and regain their dignity.
We have seen some lives changed, and then even their own appearances. You can see people are more neat, they are more cleaner. The testimonies from the community has been, hey, watu wamebadilika, watu wameanza kuwa wasafi, watu wamekuwa organized, they are going to work, they are not drinking the whole day, so there is a change.
And after the service, the congregants share a meal. On this day, it is head soup. George Bunei, one of the congregants and a trained doctor, says the church has been a game changer for him as he's slowly cutting down his addiction.
Kwa hii kanisa ile kitu imesaidia ni ile kutufundisha neno. Kwa sababu tumetembea kila mahali, tumeona vitu mingi. Sidhani hakuna continent sijakanyanga kwa hii dunia. Pengine Antarctica na hii North Pole huko ndio bado sijakanyanga, lakini hiyo manchi yote, lakini bado unapata there is something missing. Tukapata it's the word.
Emily Koech and Isaiah Rungei, a former Kenya defense officer, share almost similar stories.
Nimepewa warning mingi sana. Every 3 months niko jela. 14 days 28, 14 days 28. Wakubwa wangu wakasema tumechoka na wewe. Pia mimi hata mimi nilikuwa nimechoka.
Pombe hakuwa tisho. Hii kitu naitwa lock. Kutoa lock si ndio amushe achana. Mimi nilikuwa number 1. Nilikuwa nimetetemeka hivi kwa pombe. Lakini Mungu ni mwema.
In Porot village, where alcohol addiction once defined identity, Upendo Fellowship is quietly redefining what redemption looks like: one meal, one prayer, and one life at a time.
Thank you, Kasichana Masha, for that report. Very encouraging. Now let's look at sports, where AFC Leopards recorded their 10th win of the season to move on equal points with leaders Gor Mahia at the top of the FKF Premier League. Leopards defeated Sofapaka 1-0 courtesy of KC Odhiambo's 48th minute goal to move on equal 36 points with Gor Mahia, who are leading on a better goal difference. Sofapaka will have to reinforce their defense even more in their next encounter, as they will be facing Gor Mahia on the 31st of this month. In other matches played yesterday, Tusker FC defeated KCB 2-1 to move up to the 7th on the table, one place above their opponents KCB, while Ulinzi Stars lost by the same margin to Murang'a Seals.
He's the captain. He's leading from the front. Naletwa ndani naye Samuel Semumbaja ikabatiza KC Odhiambo. Alikuwa on point kabisa, akaivurumisha tu kuishia kwenye nyavu kule. Wakati unakwenda katika nyavu ulimgusa Ronald Musuma.
Well, thank you so much for your time as always. This is Good Morning Kenya. That's where we end the bulletin this morning. My colleague, that is Mike Megwe, will be coming up next with his guest. Eliud Owalo is already in the studio. My name is Marie Yambo, and keep it KBC Channel 1 for more news updates.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo liko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama pedeshe, ma deep state, pia vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, stesheni ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija ya kipwani.
Wewe, Katunge, wapi uniform?
Undercover.
Sijus. Wewe, mama. Apia nade aje sasa.
Mbona mtu kujiachilia freelancer balance hii?
Nasigana mebanu wangu tuanza supia hata kupumua.
Unampigia nani magoti?
Yes, rudi pale ukatengeneze chapati.
Na ndio uamini sitakuwa nakaa hapo. Mimi mambo ya kesi nimeachana naye. Na hiyo blouse yako ni mzuri.
Tuache madhara wewe.
Wewe nasitukanga namna hii.
Heard of him, the hospital's president, Mr. Congo.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our hospital. You're very pretty.
Thank you. But now that I'm pregnant, I'm always feeling so nervous.
Hey, don't feel nervous, okay? This is the most critical time.
Seeing this, it helps me let go of my sadness and forget my troubles.
Usman! Hey, Usman! Usman, are you okay?
With these two hands, I want to save as many children as I can.
She needs surgery.
Only you can do it.
Many thanks for staying with us right here on KBC Channel 1. You're watching Good Morning Kenya. This is Eye on Politics, today being a Monday, the 26th of January 2026. Today we are looking at the presidential quest, because you look at the political landscape and how things are going. The race to 2027 continues to gain momentum, and political tectonics are still moving, and the latest entry into the presidential race is one Honorable Eliud Owalo, who is a former CS and immediate Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of delivery and government efficiency in the executive office of the president. So the question here is, does his journey reflect principled leadership, or it's shaped by principled leadership shaped by conviction, or strategic compromise shaped by power? That is what we are looking at today. But before we get into that, I want to quickly take you through what is captured on the front page of our local dailies, and I will quickly start with the Daily Nation. Wamboi fights equity auction over 8 billion shillings debt. When President Ruto swept to power, businesswoman Mary Wamboi got lucky. The state dropped a 2.5 billion tax evasion case against her. The traders' companies also went on to bag multi-billion shilling tenders to import foodstuffs, as she too was appointed to a plum state job. But her business empire is under threat from 8.2 billion loans, with Equity banks seeking to auction her flagship asset, Glee Hotel. That is the main story that is being captured on the front page of Daily Nation, and it's told in detail on page 4 and 5 of the same daily. How Rogue Police planned attack on Gachagua. The violent attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua during a church service in Othaya, Nyeri County yesterday was allegedly planned in Nairobi on Friday, according to an officer who claimed to have been part of the operation. Read that story on page 7 of the Daily Nation. Coast has lowest turnout of senior school students. That story is told on page 2. And finally, Ida welcomes Ruto's diplomatic job offer. That story is told on page 6 of the Daily Nation. Moving on to the Standard newspaper. President, stop this. Tear gas in a church, bullets in the air and children choking in Othaya marked the latest attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and amid a surge in such incidents since his impeachment. What unfolded at Witima ACK was not just political violence, but an assault on faith, law and public safety. As accusations swirl around police involvement, responsibility ultimately rests with the President, William Ruto, who must rein in the security apparatus and restore order. Read that story in detail on page 4 of the Standard. And finally, on the front page of the Star newspaper, fresh NSSF raid on salaried to further erode take-home pay. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. New rates will only apply to those earning 108,000 shillings and above. That story is told on page 4 and 5. MP's report exposes why Kenyan migrant workers get stranded. That story is told on page 12. And finally, there's an interview with Nurani, entrepreneur who built multi-billion-dollar hospitality empire. That story is told on page 6 of the Star newspaper. That is what is captured in the front page of our local dailies. And now getting into the conversation of the day in studio, I'm joined by Honorable Eliud Owalo, a former CS of ICT and Digital Economy, former Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of delivery and government efficiency in the Executive Office of the President. Karibu sana to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, how are you doing this morning?
Fine.
Weekend imekuwa mzuri.
Safi. Yes.
A lot has happened within the political scene, but I want us to get first to your, you've declared your presidential ambitions.
Yes.
Intentions to seek presidency in 2027.
Yes.
What informed this political direction?
You see, I've held extensive consultations with various stakeholder segments in the recent past. And a cross-section of Kenyans have urged me on to run for the presidency. The feeling of Kenyans is that we no longer need legacy politicians at the helm. We need managers, we need transformational leaders, we need technocrats who can manage the resources of these countries, which have been looted since independence. In fact, Kenya is a very strong economy to have withstood the level of pilferage of resources that we have gone through so far. So I've held extensive consultations with various stakeholder forums, and I've made a deliberate and conscious decision that I'm fit and ready to lead Kenya's third and final liberation, which in my view is economic liberation. We have had two liberations in the past. The first one is what saw us transition from the colonialist leadership to independence of the country. The second liberation was the transition from single-party dictatorship to multi-party democracy. The third and only remaining liberation that we need to go through is economic liberation. And I want to lead this from the front. And I believe I'm equal to the task. Yes.
Do you believe that Kenya is ready for a technocrat to be at the helm?
I do believe so, and I'm fully convinced that I'll go the full hog in this journey. I've analyzed our macroeconomic environment, and I've zeroed in on about 9 macro-level parameters and issues that I want to focus on. The first one is taxation. Punitive taxation. I want to address punitive taxation. I want to put in place a taxation regime that is all-inclusive, impartial, and non-punitive. Today, we are dealing with a tax regime that continues escalating the tax levels indiscriminately, in total disregard to the economic base and stakeholder base of the country. I believe that if we put in place proper fiscal policies, we should be able to have a tax regime that facilitates inclusivity, equity, and equitability in the tax administration. In this regard, having analyzed various economic parameters, I verily believe that if we widen the tax base by bringing in more Kenyans into economic activity and thereby ensuring that they enhance the level of their disposable income and be able to pay tax, we should be able cumulatively to reduce the level of income tax from 35% to 20%. In equal measure, we should be able to reduce the level of VAT from 16% to 10%. I've also analyzed the level of debt. Debt is a major issue in this country. We keep on accumulating debt because we are not able to finance expenditure courtesy of domestically generated revenue. Under my administration, I would wish to have zero budget deficit to the extent that we only spend what we are able to generate. We accumulate debt because expenditure exceeds the level of domestic revenue. Based on the arguments I've just advanced of enhancing the tax base and bringing in more Kenyans into the tax bracket, we should be able to enhance the level of tax revenue, domestic tax revenue to the extent that we are able to facilitate both our recurrent and domestic expenditure using internally generated resources. But in equal measure, we must seal revenue leakages. And this will be done courtesy of digitalization. Yeah? If we digitalize everything, we should be able to seal revenue leakages. Let us digitalize procurement. Let us also digitalize expenditure so that we have got a dashboard through which we are able to have visibility of how every cent, public shilling, is utilized. I would not wish to see a situation where we acquire debt to finance general expenditure. Debt should only be acquired to finance projects or programs which are self-financing. You only put debt in a program that can generate adequate revenue out of that debt and repay the what? The debt. What we are doing today is transferring current debt to future generations, which in my view is unacceptable. So that is one area I'll focus on as well. The other area of great concern is employment. We are today dealing with astronomical unemployment levels. I want to sort out this by turning Kenya into a digital economy. I believe in that space we have got unlimited opportunities. That is a journey I started when I was CS for ICT. I believe I should be able to pursue it to a logical conclusion, setting up digital hubs, creating opportunities in the digital jobs space by way of digital jobs, and also leveraging on the immense potential of the youth in sports to create opportunities. Sports is an exploited virgin area which we can also fully exploit to create job opportunities for the youth. Another area which I want to address adequately and decisively is corruption. Corruption is a big menace in this country. And corruption requires, to fight corruption, we require decisive leadership from the top. We are today dealing with a situation where most of our resources is siphoned out by way of pilferage or corruption. In fact, estimates to the tune of 2 billion shillings is lost daily, courtesy of corruption. We will deal with corruption by ensuring that we seal all revenue leakages, courtesy of digitalization. But two, also, we need to go back and audit all cases of corruption within the period of the current constitution from 2010 to date. If I'm elected president I'll reopen all cases of corruption from 2010 to date and make sure that Kenyans can get a closure to these cases so that we know who have been the perpetrators of corruption. We have so many mega corruption cases which have not been fully investigated, and to date Kenyans are grappling with, Kenyans are yet to know who are actually behind these mega corruptions. I want to revisit that, but we will also go a step further and undertake forensic audit of assets held by those who are culpable. Yeah? Whether those assets are within the Kenyan borders or beyond the Kenyan borders, we need to bring those people to book and also seize all those assets so that they go back to the Kenyan public.
But looking at what you're saying about corruption, that is something that people seeking office have taken advantage of, and they're saying once we take power, we'll do this, we'll deal with corruption, but really there's no impact.
Look at my past. Look at my past, and I think evidence is there for everybody to see. When I was CS for ICT, that ministry under my leadership was evaluated to be the least corrupt by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. My track record in private sector is there for everybody to see. My track record in government is there for everybody to see. I believe I've got the wherewithal and capacity to fight corruption. Yeah.
You know, you've served at the heart of government as a CS and also now your immediate former post of Deputy Chief of Staff.
Yeah.
You've been in government. So why should Kenyans believe that someone who was part of what you would call a government system can come out and convince them that he is the agent of change?
Let me ask you, among all these politicians who are running for presidency, who has never been in government? You use experiences in government to inform what you are going to do in the future. And I want to leverage on experiences I've gotten in government to facilitate the third liberation of this country. I believe I'm equal to the task. I believe I'm a performer. My track record speaks for itself. I believe I've got the capacity to provide the leadership that this country requires. We are not constrained in terms of laws and regulations and institutions that fight corruption. The challenge we are facing is leadership deficit, to the extent that in the institutions which are supposed to fight governance are not allowed to exercise their mandate independently of political interference. And that is what I'm out to elevate once elected president.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're on record saying that you will not continue to work for political individuals.
Yes.
But
I want to work for Kenyans.
But for the Kenyan people.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, given that you have held positions as a CS, and now your former post that you had in government?
You know, I believe in order, and I believe in professionalism. When I made a public declaration of intent to run for the presidency, I immediately followed with tendering of my resignation from office, because there are things I need to do which I cannot continue doing when I'm holding a public office within the current administration. Yeah.
You know, at what point did you see that there is a specific gap within the current leadership that we have in the country, and you think that this gap is what really requires Honorable Eliud Owalo to fix?
You know, I've been all over this country inspecting projects, more so when I was in government as CSICT. I was all over the country rolling out digital projects. But also when I was in charge of delivery and government efficiency, I went to all parts of the country inspecting government projects. But the feedback in the course of interaction with the people there at the grassroots is that they are not feeling the impact of the programs that we have rolled out. What they are asking is, you keep on talking about these projects, but there is no tangible benefit by way of a substantial rise in the level of disposable income of the people. People are still feeling the weight of the pressure of the cost of living. And I've come to the conclusion that perhaps the wealth that we are creating, courtesy of economic growth, could be going into the hands of a few individuals. Yeah? This is one of the issues which I really want to elevate, the level of income inequality. Yeah? Kenya is one of the most unequal countries in the world. Yeah? You find that the wealth of this country is in the hands of about 125 people. 50 million Kenyans are actually not beneficiaries of the wealth that we generate, courtesy of annual economic economic growth. In fact, 40% of Kenyans, as we speak, live below the poverty line. These are some of the issues which I want to address. Yeah.
You did say about issues that you want to address, and you talked about taxation and debt.
Yes.
What are the others?
The other issue I want to address are sectoral issues, such as education. I believe that if we enhance the level of our domestic revenue and seal revenue leakages, we should be able to have free primary education. Yeah? We should also be able to have free day secondary education. In equal measure, in the health sector, I believe we should be able to have free health services in all public hospitals. It used to happen in the 70s and 80s, and we should be asking ourselves, we need to look back in retrospect and ask ourselves, where did we go wrong? We used to have free medical care in public institutions. It can only be attributed to pilferage of resources. And this is one of the areas where I feel we should be able to go back to factory settings and sort out. Yeah.
Do you think we can decisively deal with corruption in this country?
Yes, but it requires the will to fight the vice. It requires the will to fight the vice.
Why has it been a problem? Because this is something that we've been talking year in, year out about corruption, but still...
You know, corruption thrives based on cartels, yeah? And based on the environment that is prevailing within government on one hand and the private sector on the other. It is a collusion between public and private sectors, both as facilitators of corruption. What we need to do is, one, to ensure that we allow independent institutions which are mandated to fight corruption to do their work without political interference. Two, we need to completely eliminate conflict of interest in government. As we speak, one of the biggest challenges is a situation where we have government officers also being suppliers of goods and services into government. Yeah? You find that somebody's a procurement officer, somebody's a finance officer, they go out there, they collude, they set up phony companies out there through proxy, yeah? They supply goods and services to government and they pay themselves. That is a conflict of interest. That really is the genesis of corruption. Two, manual processes in government. I'll give you an example. Courtesy of digitalization, we are able to fundamentally reduce the level of corruption in government. When I was appointed CS for ICT, on a good day, government would collect about 60 million shillings, yeah, by way of domestic revenue. Courtesy of digitalization, today government is in a position to collect up to 900 million to 1 billion shillings in a given day. Just because we have sealed the government has sealed the revenue leakages through digitalization. So I believe that if we have proactive measures, we are able to deal with prevention of corruption, courtesy of digitalization, as opposed to being reactive to the menace of corruption. Yeah.
All right.
But this requires decisive leadership.
Decisive leadership.
And a leadership that believes in good governance.
What about political goodwill?
Political goodwill must involve buy-in by various stakeholders. Okay? This is our country. We have no other country to go to. And it is incumbent upon all of us as Kenyans to change our culture. We need a change of mindset. How much money does one need? Yeah? If you are able to meet your basic needs, why should you be on a looting spree at the expense of the common mwananchi? So we must have a change in mindset. Kenyans need to understand that we only have one country, which has systematically been looted since independence, and we need really to re-engineer the culture within both the public and private sectors and say, look, please, we have enough resources for the needs of all of us, but not enough for the greed of some of us. Yeah.
Let's look at your time as the CS for ICT and digital economy. You have spoken about digital hubs and even the aspect of digital inclusion, and we also have fiber rollout.
Yes.
But from your time as the CS, can you point to one way that an ordinary Kenyan, say someone in Bomet, someone in Turkana, or someone in Kibra, can measurably say that this ICT policy benefited me?
Look, there's ample evidence for everybody to see. When I went into government, as CSICT, we only had 350 services on the digital platform. Yeah? By the time I left, we had about 20,000 government services available on digital platform, and this actually reduced the interaction between Kenyans and public officers, and this is one way of sorting out the issues of corruption, seeking of economic rent, because bribery comes about as a result of physical interface between members of the public and government officials. If you do everything online without having to interact with a government officer, then nobody will have the opportunity to ask you for a bribe. That is something I'm very proud of. I went on an ambitious program of rolling out fiber. We had a target of 100,000 kilometers of fiber. By the time I left government, we had already done about 12,000 kilometers. And imagine this was done within just 1 year, okay? The initial 1 year. I embarked on the process of rolling out Wi-Fi hotspots, yeah, in markets and in bus stops. Yeah? By the time I left, we had already rolled out these Wi-Fi hotspots to 174 markets. The other area was the digital hubs. We started off by setting up the digital hubs in institutions of polytechnics and institutions of higher learning. By the time I left that ministry, we had already set up the digital hubs in almost all polytechnics. I think we had 112 polytechnics and also institutions of higher learning. And this is what facilitated now the digital training on one hand and the digital jobs on the other. Look at Concert. Within Concert, we set up the online educational platform. Yeah, to the extent that Kenyans are now able to virtually acquire higher education online without having to physically step into a public office. So my record within that ministry is evident for everybody to see.
Would you say there's something, apart from what you've said, that you personally added that would never have happened without you? Because we are talking about, when you look at Kenya's ICT initiatives, already we had Concert Technopolis. I look at mobile money startups, we had that. What can you say, this is what I brought, and without me?
I eliminated corruption in that sector. Ask anybody. That ministry was a no-go zone in terms of corruption. Anybody who was seeking economic rent had no space in that ministry when I was at the helm. Ask anybody in that ministry today. Yeah.
Well,
I also introduced a work ethic that was not there before. A results-driven work ethic, performance-based work ethic. That was not there. People were coming to the office in the morning and waiting to go away in the evening without being accountable for by way of performance. I introduced a performance management framework within that ministry that ensured that everybody was accountable by way of performance.
Yes. You know, the digital economy does promise jobs for the youth. The youth unemployment still remains high.
Yes.
You know, the Federation of Kenya Employers put it at around 12.7%. You know, did your ministry oversell these digital solutions at the time to what is primarily what you would say an economic industrial problem?
You know, the digital space is just one of the avenues of sorting out unemployment problems. There are various other avenues that we can utilize. Another one, a case in point, is sports. We have got abundance of talent among the Kenyan youth, which can fully be exploited to create opportunities for the youth, sustainable opportunities for the youth. I want us to look at employment not just as a means of getting white-collar jobs, but I want us to look at unemployment as a wider context through which we should be able to turn job seekers into entrepreneurs. Yeah? If we put in money and opportunities in the Juakali sector, we will have a lot of youth gainfully employed in carpentry, in masonry, in plumbing, electrical, mechanical works, and so on and so on. The Juakali sector has got a lot of what? A lot of opportunities, okay? Within this digital space, it's not just a question of getting the digital jobs per se, but I believe that courtesy of these digital jobs, these youth should be able to save money and invest, within that digital space so that they become entrepreneurs as opposed to job seekers. Yeah.
Indeed. We're continuing with this conversation. We are talking with the Honorable Eliud Owalo, who is seeking the presidency in 2027. Stay with us.
fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji.
Tunaanza kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
fursa za kibiashara, kuongeza thamani, pamoja na teknolojia za kuboresha kilimo.
Ni chakula ambao kwetu sisi inatuletea mapato mazuri, watoto wanasoma vizuri.
Mkulima kisasa inakupa maarifa,
motisha na suluhu za kurahisisha mazao,
kuongeza kipato na kulisha taifa kwa ujumla.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30,
ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Good Morning Kenya. This is I on Politics, and in studio we have Honorable Eliud Owalo, who is a former CS. We continue with this conversation, Mheshimiwa, and when you look at the business environment within the country,
yes,
how would you rate it?
Well, we have not done well in that area. One is multiple licensing. Today, a prospective investor, foreign investor who comes to invest in Kenya, needs to undergo about 86 licensing procedures, yeah, through different institutions. I believe we can be able to sort out this by having a digital platform through which all these applications and approvals, applications can be lodged and approvals granted. Mm-hmm. You do not need a prospective investor to hop from one institution to another to be given multiple licenses. Mm-hmm. Let everything be lodged on digital platform, mm-hmm, so that we minimize interaction between an investor and what? An investor and public officers. Mm-hmm. This is one of the ways through which we'll be able to make Kenya investment friendly and also eliminate corruption, mm-hmm, in that space. Mm-hmm. Courtesy of the tax initiatives which are talked about, we should also be able to improve the business environment. Mm-hmm. Reduce the income tax from 35% to 20%, yeah? Reduce VAT from 16% to 10%. This will leave the private sector with an enhanced level of income. And you know that the only way to save is when the level of income goes up. If the level of income goes up, you'll be able to save. Mm-hmm. And if the level of savings goes up, the level of investment in the economy will also go up, because investment is a function of savings, of, mm-hmm, the level of savings. If we had prudent policies, which are fiscal policies, which are business friendly, I believe we should be able to grow this economy as Kenyans ourselves, mm-hmm, okay? Just by creating the right business environment for the private sector. And also ensuring that there isn't undue government interference with business. You know, the business of government should not be to compete in business with the private sector. Mm-hmm. The business of government should be to ensure that we have got appropriate policies, be they fiscal or monetary policies, that would facilitate an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. And that should be the focus of government. Government should not go into an area which is not its core mandate by competing in business with business. Yeah.
You know, you say that, and also it also points to how Kenyans are dealing with everyday life.
Yeah.
Matters of higher cost of living, taxation, and also now shrinking pay slips.
Yes.
It begs the question, the current economic upheavals that Kenyans are facing, do they justify the future gains? Or it's a case where the government misreads public tolerance?
You see, why does government initiate increased level of taxation as a fiscal measure? It is because there is a divergence between the expenditure levels and the revenue levels. Yeah? Today, we have got about 35 million Kenyans who, if put into gainful economic activity, can actually get into the tax bracket. We only have about 9 million Kenyans today who are paying taxes. Yeah? Why don't we think of how we can take money to the value chains, yeah? Those sectors which are docile, as we speak, get more people into the income bracket, yeah? By extension, get these people into the tax bracket, yeah? Either maintain or reduce the level of taxation, but still generate the current level of domestic revenue, or even enhance the level of domestic revenue. It's a question of how we want to implement our fiscal policies by way of taxation. Personally, I will go the route of ensuring that we have more Kenyans involved in economic activity and reducing the tax base, the tax rate.
From your perspective, who should be listened to more? Is it the lenders, the economists, or the common mwananchi?
Why does government exist? Government exists to serve the common mwananchi. So we should be able to listen to the common mwananchi. If, for example, the middle class tell us that, look, the level of taxation is unmanageable, yeah? We are not able to meet basic needs because the pay slip, yeah, is overtaxed. We should be able to listen to the middle class. If the common mwananchi tell us that the cost of living is too high, we should be able to listen to them because we exist to serve the public. You see, most of these punitive taxation measures come about because we have gotten involved in projects which are not necessarily addressing the needs of the common mwananchi, but budgeted for purposes of corruption, where people are seeking economic what? Economic rent. Yeah? We go borrowing at times, more often than not, to finance projects which are not necessarily feasible, but where people have got interests. These are some of the things that we should do about. And I've said that under my government, there is no foreign debt that will be sought or acquired to finance a project that cannot pay for itself. That will be a no-go zone. We should not be getting foreign debt that will burden future generations. Debt should only be gotten in instances where a project is proved feasible and should be able to repay the debt. Yeah. Right. Not a situation where we are getting foreign debt to finance ordinary expenditure and transferring that as a burden to future generations.
You know, Kenya now uses more than 1 trillion shillings to service debts.
Yeah.
So let's say you are in power. How would your economic strategy look like? Especially when you look at freeing resources to fund sectors like health,
yes,
education.
It's very simple, my friend. One, seal revenue leakages. Yeah? Eliminate corruption. Yeah? Courtesy of the initiatives are already stated. And then divest resources from areas such as security, where we are putting in a lot of money in terms of budgetary provision, and take it back to areas like education and health. Why do we need to pump in billions, colossal sums of money into the security sector? A sector that, under normal circumstances, is not even audited. Yeah? Why don't we redirect that money I'm not saying we don't finance the security sector, but it should be financed to manageable, optimal levels, But here today we are dealing with a situation where colossal sums of money are being taken to the security sector. That security sector does not undergo the normal auditing processes. Yeah? So we should be able to divest some of those resources to be able to finance education and health as basic needs. Government exists to serve the common mwananchi. Government does not exist to serve the chosen few. Yeah.
Let's look at the rule of law.
Yeah.
We have incidences, and the recent one is the yesterday incident where the former deputy president, where they were attending church, they were tear-gassed in church. What do you make of that? And when it comes to the rule of law, it also applies to how people also express themselves, what they need to the government of the day.
You know, my friend, we are today guided by our 2010 constitutional dispensation. And that should be the common denominator on which everything is pegged. The rule of law espouses that everybody is equal before the law. And that means that irrespective of your position in government, you must subscribe to the dictates of the Constitution. But some of these instances of acts of omission or commission and impunity in total disregard to the Constitution is to me unacceptable. Everybody as a Kenyan must subscribe to the Constitution. And what public servants and officers need to know, that their acts of omission one day, whether in office or outside office, they will be personally held accountable for their acts of omission or commission if they disregard the Constitution. The Constitution is supreme, and anything that is inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency. Yeah.
How do you describe the democratic space within Kenya and East Africa at large?
We have seen what happened in Tanzania. To me, that is unacceptable. Yeah. We have also seen what has happened in Uganda the other day. I mean, we should allow people to exercise their democratic rights and elect the leaders they want for all positions. In Kenya, for example, we must give the people the freedom of choice and enabling environment to choose the leaders that they want. Let us have a common playing ground, and let us transition from politics which is built around ethnic enclaves, and personality cults, to issue-based politics. And this is one of the reasons why I've gotten into this race, because I believe we need to have a paradigm shift, in our political arena, where we transition from this retrogressive politics to issue-based politics. Time could not be more ripe than this. Retrogressive politics built around tribes, built around sharing of position by individuals, is not going to take us anywhere as a country. We have done this since independence, and we are still grappling with the same challenges facing the common consumer. So I really wish that starting these coming elections of 2027, we transition into issue-based politics where leaders will articulate what they really want to do for the people, where leaders will be held accountable by way of results. We have been taken through a vicious circle of poverty, inconsistency, and contradictions since independence by the political class. Time could not be ripe to put an end to this than these 2027 elections. And this is why I've decided to enter this race, so that we can give Kenyans the much-needed transformational leadership that they desire.
What would you say, would a citizen-centered kind of vetting work this time round? If at all we are looking at, Kenyans are looking at putting responsible leaders into place.
What do you mean by citizen-centered? We need really to change our mindset as Kenyans, because we have that opportunity through the ballot. As Kenyans, we must change our mindset. What type of leaders do we really require? We need leaders who are transformational. We need leaders who are actually going to facilitate zero tolerance to corruption at both levels of government, the national government and the county government. Today, what are we witnessing? A situation where somebody in public office in the national government steals money. And then he runs down to go and contest for parliamentary seat or governor. And you find Kenyans electing him because he has got the stolen money. So we must change our mindset as Kenyans. What type of leaders do we require? We need credibility in leadership, integrity. Yeah? And we don't have any better opportunity than the electoral process itself to weed out, yeah, these looters of the economy. We should not allow these people to ascend to any position of leadership in the future. Yeah.
Does the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, will it apply when it comes to the next crop of leaders that are going to be...
It should, absolutely.
Elected next year?
And it should be enforced. The challenge we have is that we have never had a problem of laws and regulations. The problem we have is enforcement of the same. Enforcement of the same. Look at our 2010 constitutional dispensation. Today, certain quarters are already talking about change of the constitution. But what I'm asking myself is, have we even taken stock of the 2010 constitution to be able to ascertain the level of implementation of the same, the milestones we have realized, the challenges we have faced, the gaps in the implementation, and so on and so forth. We are not short of laws and regulations. The problem is enforcement. And this calls for leadership, decisive leadership, transformational leadership, and allowing independent institutions to do their work without political interference.
What do you make of how the younger generation is expressing itself on social media, especially when it comes to matters of governance, politics, and the direction in which the country is going?
They are actually the leaders of today. You know, those fellows are ahead of us, the younger generation. They are ahead of us because they know where this country is supposed to go. And let me tell you, yeah, that change process, all of us, it's incumbent upon all of us to align to that change process. Anybody who is not able to take that route will be considered irrelevant. Yeah.
We've seen upheavals like the one happening in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
But how do you plan on engaging them, especially when it comes to matters that touch on economy and issues to do with the issues that affect them?
You know, those fellows don't think tribe, yeah? And that's the Kenya we want. They think in terms of issues. Look at the issues which the younger generation have been raising. They have been raising issues to do with the cost of living. They have been raising issues to do with corruption. They have been raising issues to do with taxation. They have not been raising issues to do with tribe or religion or creed. Okay? So that's why I'm saying they are ahead of us. And that is the Kenya that we want. It's incumbent upon all of us as Kenyans to now engage constructively on issues of the day. And these are the issues which are on the table today. Cost of living, corruption, unemployment, taxation, and so on and so forth. These are the issues that we need to have progressive discussions about and come up with solutions to address those fundamental challenges. Yeah.
You know, looking at Kenya's presidency, which is where you are gunning for, it transcends ideas, so to speak, to include the aspect of managing power, ethnic tensions, and also institutions and global pressure. Say Honorable Eliud Owalo has been made president by Kenyan people. What do you think prepares you for that burden better than other seasoned politicians?
One, I don't have baggage from the past. Yeah, I'm coming in with clean hands. Yeah, I've got an adequate experience in the private sector where I was a consultant for 23 years before I joined government, and I cut niche in the market as one of Africa's best strategists. My track record in government is there for everybody to see. Zero tolerance to corruption, a performer, results-oriented person, a workaholic for the good of all Kenyans. I believe that I should be able to lead these third deliberations that is so fundamental for Kenyans at this point in time. Yeah.
All right.
And I will ensure that there is equity and equitability in utilization of Kenya's resources and wealth in total disregard to tribe, race, religion, or creed.
Are we really able to move away from, when it comes to politics, and from your perspective?
Yes.
Are we really able to move away from going back to our tribal cocoons every time an electioneering period comes?
Personally, I'll run a tribeless campaign. You know, many Kenyans have asked me, where is your tribal Where is your tribal value proposition? And I've told them I don't need a tribal value proposition. Where is my support base? And I've told them my support base are those Kenyans in the value chains, yeah, who require proper policies to be able to exploit their full potential. My base is the middle class Kenyans, yeah, who are feeling the weight of high taxation. My base is the youth who are unemployed and devoid of opportunities. So that is the type of issue-based campaign that I want to run. I will not be going to any ethnic community to seek ethnic backing. No, I'm beyond that.
You know, when you announced your bid for the presidency,
yes,
you know, social media was awash with all manner of comments, but one thing that one that stood out was
yes,
you're a project.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I've also heard about that, that I'm a project of President Ruto. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know, even lies require some reasonable level of intelligence to be sustained.
Yes.
I'm a very forthright and decisive individual. In 2019, when I decided to join the Ruto campaign and I worked with him in preparation for that election for 3 years, before the elections, I did it against all odds. Everybody thought that the Azimio presidential candidate was going to win that elections. But I decided to work with Ruto. Yeah? So I do not need to get out of Ruto's government to work with him in secrecy. I've held positions in his government as a cabinet secretary, as a deputy chief of staff, 2 portfolios, first for responsible for performance and delivery, and subsequently for delivery and efficiency, which were both cabinet level appointments. So why would I leave that government if I want to work with him and go out to work with him from outside? I mean, it beats logic. There's no justification in that. Yeah? If I want to work with him, I work with him in the open. But I've opted to go out when everybody is rushing in. That is Eliud Owalo for you, and I'm determined to go the full hog.
Are we likely to see you aligning with, you know, political alignments are happening left, right, and center. Are we likely to see Eliud Owalo aligning?
I'm not interested in aligning with politicians for purposes of sharing power. I want to align with these Kenyan masses I've espoused. Yeah? The unemployed youth, yeah? Those involved in gainful activities at SME levels who need a better environment, the middle class, those to me are my partners. Those are my partners in this in pursuit of this vision. Yes. I've got a vision to pursue and a mission to accomplish. Yeah.
Your vision and your journey.
Yes.
From your perspective.
Yes.
And just to make sure that Kenyans understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
Is it, does it reflect principled leadership, or it's shaped by conviction, or a strategic compromise shaped by power? You've been in government.
I've just stated that I have a vision to pursue and a mission to accomplish, and I'm going the full hog. It is informed by what I want to do for the benefit of Kenyans, not personal gain. I mean, I was much better off in the private sector before I joined public sector. I went into public sector to serve, and my record in that public sector is evident for everybody to see. I'm going this route this time round to help alleviate the challenges facing the common mwananchi. I want to lead this third liberation so that I sort out inequality in opportunities, ensure that there's equitable distribution of resources, address issues of punitive taxation, ensure that there's full conformity to the rule of law, sort out issues of debt, among many pertinent issues.
Equitable distribution of resources.
Yes.
Do we have an equitability?
There's inequitable distribution of resources. I just told you, yeah, that 40% of Kenyans today are living below the poverty line. Kenya is one of the most unequal countries in the world. The resources in this country, believe you me, are in the hands of 125 individuals. That means 50 million plus, yeah, are deprived of national wealth. We cannot continue like this. It is unacceptable. Resources must go back to the people.
Why did you point this out when you were at the CS?
Come again?
Didn't you point it out when you were the CS?
But I did that. I did that courtesy of the mandate that was bestowed on me. Didn't I come out to ensure that we had got fiber rollout in those parts which had hitherto not seen fiber? Didn't I go out to the countryside and set up Wi-Fi hotspots in markets where our mothers and sisters involved in itinerary trade had never seen a Wi-Fi? Didn't I go to the villages? Didn't I come up with a policy framework that would ensure that we have got digital hubs in each and every ward in this country? Didn't I constitute a sector working group? Yeah? Entailing both individuals from the public and private sector to sort out moribund laws within the ICT industry so that Kenya can be at par in tandem with best case examples in the world that we need to benchmark with. So I've always led by example. And I believe that when I was given that mandate as Minister, as CS for ICT, I ensured that anything that was within my disposal was done impartially, in full conformity to the principles of equity and equitability. Yeah.
You know, is there an uncomfortable truth about Kenya that, from your perspective, you think politicians avoid saying, but which you're willing to say?
Well, we need to work for the people. That should be the bottom line. We need to work for the people. Any public servant who is not willing to work for the people, to me, is in the wrong business. But I'm happy that we are today dealing with a more enlightened population. We are dealing with a youth that is very enlightened, a youth that has got the zeal to correct some of the anomalies that we have witnessed in the past. And anybody who is not able to conform to the dictates of the prevailing operational environment is living on borrowed time. Yeah.
You know, in the interest of time,
yes,
for a Kenyan who is watching you right now,
yes,
maybe they're struggling with school fees, hospital bills, what assurance do you give them that if, in case you are sent to the president, that this burden is going to be addressed?
Within the first 90 days of an Eliud Owalo presidency, there will be free primary education, free day secondary education. There will be free healthcare in all public hospitals. Income tax will go down from 35% to 20%. VAT will go down from 16% to 10%. Digital tax will be completely eliminated. There will be zero tolerance to corruption. Public debt will fully be sorted out to the extent that there will be no budget deficit. And we will not utilize public debt to finance general expenditure. Those are my promises.
Yes. Your final remarks, Mheshimiwa.
I've got a vision anchored on the fundamental challenges facing the common Kenyan, and I want to appeal to Kenyans to join me in this journey of the third liberation of this country, which is economic emancipation. Together we can achieve it.
Thank you so much.
Believe you me.
Yes. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Owalo, who is a former CS and now a presidential aspirant in the run-up to the general election of 2027. This is where this conversation comes to a stop. My name is Mike Migwe. Thank you for tuning in. Good Morning Kenya continues in a short while. Stay with us.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation.
We will be focusing on women.
We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's show.
Wewe, Katunge, wapi uniform?
Undercover.
Just, well, mama. Apia nade aje sasa. Wewe ni mtu kujiachilia freelancer balance hii. Nasikia nimebanwa kuanza sukia hata kupumua. Unampigia nani magoti? Yes, rudi pale ukatengeneze chapati. Na ndio uamini sitakuwa nakaa hapo. Mimi mambo ya kesi nimeachana naye.
Na hiyo blouse yako ni mzuri.
Tuache madhara wewe.
Wewe nasitukanga namna hii.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Did you know that pneumonia is among the leading causes of death right here in Kenya? Join me, Winrus Kavengi, as we explore what exactly is pneumonia, what are the causes of pneumonia, and how can pneumonia be prevented? Every breath we take is a gift, but for millions around the world, that gift is under threat, especially right here in Kenya. A silent killer is claiming lives, young and old, rich and poor. It's not a new virus, neither is it a rare disease. This is pneumonia, and according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, pneumonia has been the leading cause of death in Kenyan hospitals for the past 5 years. In 2021, it claimed over 15,000 lives, and it is time to talk about it. The question that lingers most in our heads is, what exactly is pneumonia?
Pneumonia is a disease that affects the lungs. A condition where the lungs get inflamed and infected. There are many causes. We have bacterial causes, we have viral causes, we have fungal causes. And sometimes we classify pneumonia based on the cause. So we can say it's bacterial pneumonia, we can say it's viral pneumonia, we can say it's fungal pneumonia. Those are the main causes.
Symptoms of pneumonia include cough, fever, chills, and difficulty in breathing, which can be easily mistaken for a normal cold and can escalate within hours. However, in some cases, especially in remote areas and in children, delayed treatment can mean tragedy. According to Dr. Magada, pneumonia is diagnosed and treated based on the cause.
Depending on what we think is the likely cause of pneumonia, then we'll decide. For example, if it is bacterial pneumonia, we then have to give antibiotics. If it is viral pneumonia, then we have to give antiviral agents. If it is fungal pneumonia, then we have to give antifungal agents, and they're different. And also, even in the bacterial pneumonia, we have to give medication based on where we suspect the patient got the pneumonia. We have like 5 areas where pneumonia can be gotten from. If it is outside a health facility, we call that community-acquired pneumonia. Now, in community-acquired pneumonia, the approach is different when we are giving antibiotics. If the pneumonia is acquired within the health facility, and it's not a long-term care facility, we call that healthcare acquired pneumonia or health-associated pneumonia. Now, again, the approach is different. The health-associated pneumonia usually is more serious than community-acquired. Then we have ventilator-associated pneumonia. In ventilator-associated pneumonia, this is a pneumonia where a patient gets when they are intubated in ICU, and they're put on a respirator. Again, the approach for that on that treatment is different. And then we have aspiration pneumonia. Aspiration pneumonia happens especially in people who are unconscious and they're not able to cough out things, so part of the gut contents get into the lungs. Again, in aspiration pneumonia, the approach in terms of treatment is different.
Kenya is fighting back, but this has also been met with its share of challenges.
The biggest challenge, like I said, is in the area of diagnosis. But once we are sure that it's pneumonia, the next challenge is on the available medication. Some of the medication that we need to use, for example, if you're talking about healthcare-associated pneumonia or ventilator-associated pneumonia, some of those are very expensive. And where insurance has an issue or there is no insurance, then the family has an issue in terms of affordability. We also need to then advise the family in terms of to avoid picking the infection from the patient or reinfecting the patient when the patient goes back to them upon discharge.
Pneumonia kills more children in Kenya than any other disease, and there are some risk factors that we need to consider as we strive to fight against pneumonia.
And the risk factors for pneumonia, age is one of them. Yes. You'll find that children under 2 years and adults, elderly, over 65, are more prone to getting pneumonia. Therefore, this is an age group we would target, for example, in making sure their environments are cleaner and free of infection if we can. Other risk factors, for example, smoking, tobacco smoking, is a risk factor. So smoking cessation is an important approach in in prevention. In terms of wanting to improve immunity, because we know that immunosuppression is one major important risk factor. So one of the ways of improving immunity is a healthy diet, exercise, adequate rest. People must, we must embrace rest as part of a schedule. I know now we have very many targets, people wanting to work around the clock, but rest is an important aspect of building immunity. So that is an important thing. And then, of course, we must look at air quality. Air pollution plays a role in predisposing people to infections, to pneumonia especially. And so it's important that we improve our air quality, reduce pollution.
Street photographers. Nairobi's streets are alive, full of movement, color, and stories. Amid the chaos, a group of street photographers capture life, frame by frame, a click at a time. But behind every photo lies a story of hustle, of creativity, and survival. Street photography has become a full-time job for many young people in Nairobi. Today, we follow the stories behind the cameras, how they started, how they operate, and what keeps them going.
I'm a street photographer here in Nairobi CBD, and I can truly say that I'm a very proud female photographer up in Nairobi CBD, the best, the baddest, and for quality shoots, nitafute. Since 2023, I've been here. When I was studying, I was still coming to the Nairobi CBD for the street photography.
Every morning, long before the city reaches full speed, street photographers set up their spots, clean their lenses, and prepare for another day of capturing moments on Nairobi's busy streets.
I start my day first early in the morning, because I really need to prepare myself, make sure that my gadgets are all charged up, and by around 9:30 I'm here at the street. I do my things here, nafanya photography hapa na pale, and then ikifika around 5:30 I close my office, because this is my office.
For many of these photographers, some of whom are students, this is their main source of income for supporting families, paying their bills, and even paying school fees.
For sure, hiyo ndio inanipea kila kitu hapa Kenya nataka saizi, ndio inaekelea everything, my dress code, my housing, everything, hiyo ndio inalipa. Photography has also paid for my school fees right now, and for sure photography is paying. This is my office.
Yani like mimi vile niko student, at least ni an income, source of income, nisitegemee mzazi sana, unaona.
Some of the photographers operate individually, but for some, teamwork is the secret to surviving the streets. They operate in groups, combining their skills and resources to keep the business moving.
As a team, tuna operate in terms of nikipata client, mimi ndo nitaita client, yeye atapiga, akishapiga mimi ndo na edit picha ya client.
Teamwork ndio mzuri kwa kila kitu. For example, tuseme tuna wako wawili, unapata per day huwa tunatengeneza pesa mingi kushinda yule jamaa mwenye ana work individual.
Despite working in the same area, conflicts are rare. Each photographer sticks to their designated spot, a silent rule that keeps the peace on these busy streets.
We don't have conflicts na other photographers, despite wako wengi, unaona, ni kila msee ana place yake ya kupiga. Kama sisi ni place yetu kutoka hapo mpaka hapo, unaona, ni range msee ataka next, unaona.
While the streets give them daily income, many photographers expand their craft, offering studio portraits, events coverage, and corporate shoots to grow their businesses and reach new clients.
Tunachapa studio photography, street photography, family, couple, and type of photography tunachapa. At focus kwa street peke yake.
Mimi ni director, mimi direct shoots. Tukienda shoot huko nje na direct na napata pesa. So despite napiga photos huko, pia na direct nyimbo huko.
Traditionally, street photography has been dominated by men. But the women who step into this world are thriving, confident, skilled, and redefining what the industry looks like.
I can just say, saizi kwa street watu wameshakubali pia what a man can do, a woman can do better. That's something that I do say. Kama mimi saizi in the street, because I know I mostly interact with the male photographers. They truly are there for me, wanani support for security, anything I need. They make sure that I'm truly comfortable. So I can't really complain much about being in this field.
Despite the passion, life on the streets is tough. Between rising costs, unpredictable weather, slow business, and harassment from some clients, the photographers face numerous challenges.
Mostly challenges zenye kama photographers tunapitia ni customers, kupata customers. Juu utapata kwa street kuna mafotografa kama 10. Na huyo customer ametoka kutoka huko juu kupita huku chini, then unaona lazima umconvince ama tu bahati ya Mungu.
Challenges that I face is that people ignore you. You can ask them for a photo and they truly will ignore you and pass you without even saying or talking. Another thing is sometimes you find people who are really in bad mood, who can even like abuse you for no reason. And for me here, I'm just coming to look for like something to put on the table for myself.
Equipment ziko na challenge sana. For example, kununua kamera mzuri, lazima ukuwe na pesa.
Society uko nje bado wanachukulia photography ni kitu ya mchezo, unaona. Even though kuna watu wanapiga professional na inawalipa, but sasa sisi kama beginners ni ya kusustain, tunaona. Ndio tufike hizo level za professional yani.
Still, passion keeps them going. The love of capturing smiles, memories, and moments that will last forever as they urge anyone with passion in the field to join them.
Advice ni, if you want to be a photographer, just start now. Go to school if you have the ability to go to school or to gain some extra skills on photography. Another thing is, ukitaka kufanya photography, lazima ujitume. Skills unaipata ukifanya practice more and more and more and more.
From sunrise to sunset, these photographers turn Nairobi's busy streets into living studios. Their work may seem ordinary, but through their lenses, the everyday becomes extraordinary.
In today's world, securing a job after university is increasingly difficult. Many graduates like Faith face harsh job rejections and a tough economy. Despite her hopes for a stable job post-graduation, Faith struggled to find work, leading to her to consider starting a business instead.
You're looking for jobs, there are no jobs, you're sending applications, you can't get even the responses. And so that led me to find a way of surviving, and that's when I ventured into selling laptops.
During this time, Faith connected with her friend Caleb, who ran a small computer sales and repair business. Recognizing a partnership opportunity, Faith brought fresh ideas while Caleb contributed his experience. Together, they embarked on an entrepreneurial journey.
Fresh ideas and also the zeal from someone new.
Setting up the business proved challenging. They needed to find a prime location, reliable suppliers, and raise funds for rent and stock.
The business is capital intensive, and that meant that I have to look for capital, and also starting out, especially here in Nairobi, it's very expensive because you'll need to have connections on where to get stock, on where to get the capital, on where to start from. And so even getting people to work with you through the journey was a bit challenging, but through and through we have been able to climb the ladder.
They chose to sell computers due to the growing reliance on technology, which they believed had significant market potential.
Right now, the world is all about technology. So you need to have a computer to do everything. Right now, you need to have a computer and all the electronics. You can't stay without a gadget. So that is something that is needed. It's almost a basic need nowadays.
Trust was crucial to their success. As friends, they divided responsibilities based on their strengths and ensured the shop remained open even when one was absent. They tackled problems together, leading to innovative solutions for smooth operations.
We act like a pilot and a co-pilot. So whenever I'm not there, the co-pilot is able to do everything that I can do. So we have equal roles, and everybody knows what they are good at, and they have perfected the places where they're good at, and so we're able to complement each other in that way.
Understanding each other, yes. So, of course, I have some ideas, my partner has other ideas, but we have to understand one another so that everything can run smoothly.
As competition increased, they needed to differentiate themselves. They expanded services by offering repairs, a Lipa Pole Pole payment plan, and door-to-door deliveries. These additions attracted more customers and helped build a trusted brand.
We don't only sell computers, we also do repairs. We also offer payment plans. So like when you come to purchase a laptop from us, we take you through the different types that we have. After that, we're able to give you options. You choose the option that you like the most, and then we take you through the Lipa Pole Pole plan. We have Lipa Pole Pole plans for laptops, and we also have repair services, whereby we do not only sell laptops, but we also repair. If you have a laptop that is that has an issue, we can also repair that for you. And we have services like delivery services.
Starting the business transformed Faith's life. Overcoming job rejection, she found joy in independence and success, earning more than she expected and feeling grateful for taking the risk.
And so one of the things that I know I might not do as a person is go back to be a career person, because for sure if I'm going to be a career person, that career might not pay me the much that I need to survive, especially in Nairobi and in the current economic status that we are in. Yeah.
Faith's online skills helped expand their customer base through social media advertising, customer reviews, and online orders with delivery options.
And you see, for a fresh graduate, she's well conversant with online marketing. So she has taught me a lot.
Now successful entrepreneurs, Faith and Caleb advise youths not to wait for employment, but to seek alternative paths. They encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to identify market trends rather than blindly starting any business, as maintaining one can be challenging.
That you feel like giving up, the days that you feel like you don't know, you don't have a direction. But at the end of the day, you just sit down and ask yourself, then what? If I sit here and wait, who is coming to save me? Definitely with our current state of the economic status that we are in right now, there's no one who is coming to save you. So the only thing you need to do is just start. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, just start and be disciplined and be consistent as much as possible.
You can check whatever is moving online, because you see, you can start a business, but then you will not find clients because whatever you're selling is not needed at the moment. So you need to have something that if you buy to sell, you'll find clients instantly.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Wewe, Katunge, wapi uniform?
Undercover.
Just, well, mama. Apia na de aje sasa. Wewe ni mtu kujiachilia freelancer balance. Nasikia nimebanwa kwanza supia hata kupumua. Unampigia nani magoti?
Yes,
rudi pale ukatengeneze chapati.
Na ndio waamini sitakuwa nakaa hapo. Mimi mambo ya kesi nimeachana naye.
Na hiyo blouse yako ni mzuri.
Tuache madhara wewe.
Wewe nasitukanga namna hii.
In Kenya, thousands of families face a quiet crisis, a disease that erases names, faces, and stories. This is Alzheimer's disease, and according to Dr. Magada, Alzheimer's is at times mistaken for dementia, but how do they differ?
Alzheimer's disease is part of a group of diseases that cause what we call dementia. Dementia is defined as a progressive decline in cognitive abilities. When we talk about cognitive abilities, we are saying reduction in ability to learn, loss of memory, altered behavior. And so dementia then encompasses many other diseases apart from Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is part of what we call primary dementia. Other types include vascular dementias, and it's important that we differentiate, because there are also some dementias that are caused by reversible causes, for example, depression. Thyroid disorders can give memory issues. Now, Alzheimer's, in Alzheimer's, there is a part of the brain that controls learning that is usually affected, the hippocampus. It's a part of the brain. So it gets affected, and then you get, the people start declining in their ability to remember things, especially recent memory. They can remember remote memory, the long-term things, things that were done long ago, but they can't remember the immediate things. And that therefore means learning becomes an issue.
Alzheimer's in often cases is mistaken for normal aging. However, it affects over 50,000 Kenyans, mostly those over 60 years, but awareness is low. It is still the past, but love, patience, and understanding can protect the present. Alzheimer's is accompanied by various symptoms.
You get loss of memory, especially recent memory. You'll find that they may not remember where they have kept their phones or their money. You find some bit of change in behavior. And then some become aggressive. They even, you get for people forgetting the names of others or who they are, yet they're part of the family. So mainly it's the issue of memory, but you get impaired learning as well. And also, like I said, change in behavior. And this progresses from early signs, and it keeps going to a situation where now they are not even able to, if they get out of the compound, they will not know how to get back. So they are sort of limited to certain levels.
In Kenyan communities, Alzheimer's is oftenly misunderstood. Some call it madness, others think it's a curse. And the progressive brain disorder sadly not only affects thinking, but it also triggers behavior change which could cause trauma. The question is, what are the risk factors of Alzheimer's?
Age and genetics. It's a progressive disease. And because it's a progressive disease, sometimes there may be very little that can be done. However, there are certain factors that could sort of precipitate it. We've had, from experience, patients who, when they are given certain drugs, for example, sedatives, or drugs to alter their behavior, antipsychotics, then the symptoms are triggered. So usually we have to look around nutrition, we have to look around factors that would alter their mood, causing depression. We have to look around drugs that they could be taking. We have to look around the underlying comorbidities, underlying the diseases, for example, diabetes, hypertension. We have to look around all those to make sure they are well taken care of, because they pose a risk in precipitating memory disturbances in a patient who is already genetically predisposed or age-wise predisposed.
While there is no cure for Alzheimer's, early diagnosis and compassionate care can make a difference. But what is the treatment plan for Alzheimer's?
Some of the treatments that we employ are treatments that improve nerve function. If, for example, there is underlying stroke, we give treatments that would prevent further deterioration in nerve damage. If we are suspecting vitamin deficiencies, we give treatments that sort of supplements that improve the brain function. We have some newer treatments in the area of what we call immunotherapy. And those are the treatments that seem to be having some impact, although we are yet to assess whether it's major impact or not.
Despite the efforts to fight against this disease in the country and around the globe, the medical field still faces various setbacks and limitations of current treatment plans.
The newer treatments are expensive. Alzheimer's or dementia generally is a disease that is handled mainly at a specialty level by neurologists, sometimes psychologists, psychiatrists. And so some of these, getting access to a neurologist, we don't have very many in the country, so that's one more limitation. And the ones we have, of course, are quite booked, so by the time you get a slot, it might take a while.
Alzheimer's does not just affect the elderly, it affects entire families. But how can we help in preventing it?
Prevention is key in Alzheimer's. And some of the areas of prevention or areas that would help to prevent is making sure that your head is protected, especially after a certain age. After 60 years of age, I think people should be careful so that they don't bang their heads left, right, and center. Because head injury can, predispose to that kind of a situation. We also advise that now we have a lot of biking, piki, boda. We advise that people should have helmets on to prevent head injury. And then, of course, a healthy diet, exercise. These are very important approaches in trying to reduce early onset dementia. Exercise, and then keep your brain active. I think people need to go to school even at the age of 60 and on.
Patients with Alzheimer's require a lot of attention and activities done for them. For example, bathing, entertainment, and sometimes even feeding, which in some cases could cause a toll on caregivers. But despite all that, learn the science, seek help, and most importantly, break the stigma.
Morning, and thank you very much for joining us. This is the Western Spectrum, a program that comes to you every Monday from 8 to 9. Today you realize we have actually delayed a bit due to some technical issues. First, our guest, the Deputy Governor of Kisumu County, Dr. Matthew Zawili, confirmed up until today in the morning that he'll actually be attending this particular show, and just around 7:40 I received a call from one of his handlers to the effect that he might not be in a position to actually come to this show because the PS for public health is around, and he will be receiving the PS in his office, and then of course from there he will be accompanying the PS on a number of activities around Kisumu County. That is a story, of course, we'll be keeping a keen eye on, and of course you can trust us that indeed we'll be giving you details as and when they unfold. Coming back to our topic of discussion today, we have the Executive Secretary for NAT Kisumu City branch, the newly elected executive branch, George Obona, who was just elected in the office last week, and of course he has a number of issues he says he wants to discuss as pertains education, not just in Kisumu County, but of course the sector as a whole, and of course we'll be looking at some of the issues that have actually, or development that have actually been witnessed last week here amongst the statistics that are actually given by the CS Interior Kipchumba Murkomen. When he was in Kisumu County, he did say that about 70%, the government has actually realized about 70% transition to grade 10, and then subsequently what followed was the directive by the president that each and every child who sat for grade 9 and was supposed to be placed for grade 10 should actually pack their things and go to their respective schools, regardless of whether they have school fees, regardless of whether they have uniform, so then they can actually have that 100% transition. Initially, the CS Interior had actually instructed Ngao officials at the very basic level to ensure that each and every child is actually transitioning to grade 10. So those are some of the issues that you want to look at now, because of course the 100% transition comes with the challenges. Last week we were discussing the issues of facilities in terms of books and the personnel to ensure that indeed grade 10 and the senior schools can actually be get what they're supposed to be getting from a senior school. And of course, this is a conversation that we want to continue this morning with George. George, congratulations and welcome. First and foremost, the mere fact that the president actually pronounced himself on the fact that there must be 100% transition from grade 9 to grade 10. That's a good thing.
And I want to say, as those who are running issues matters education, and particularly the teachers' welfare, we are concerned that when we have learners who have actually been given opportunity to answer to the next level, it is our pride as teachers that those learners be given opportunity to move to the next level. So 100% transition is the best thing, best policy that the government came with. But we want to say that it is it's not just 100% transition. It is 100% transition with quality. Like for instance, when you say that children who have had challenges could not carry their luggages and move to schools. When they move to schools, most of them, they don't have uniform. They don't have the basic needs. In as much as they will go to schools, but their morale will be down. So we want the government to come in, because I know the government has capacity, but how many of these children are not able to meet the basic needs, to get the uniform, even to get the school fee, to move to the next level, so that the government can come in and take care of such learners. I believe the government can do
Basically talking about identifying deserving children and allocating resources to some of these children so that then they can actually transition to the next class. This is a debate that has been on for quite some time. The question has been that where do we get the balance? Teachers know these students or learners quite well, much better, right? But we have so many bursary funds or funds that have actually been set aside from the constituency level, ward level, the governor's office, and of course the county MP's position. How then do we harness all these resources that are actually available to ensure that indeed, in conjunction with the teachers, that indeed these kids can actually have an opportunity to continue their studies.
Should have been taken back to the teachers, because we are the people who have been these learners, say for instance, for 9 years.
The longest, yes.
The longest, and we have had challenges seeing them go through the learning process, and we understand their backgrounds. So even as we go out there to look for appraisals, to get to know who are the deserving learners, if that could be taken back to teachers, we really tell you we have had so and so, this boy, this girl, for the number of time, and we know the challenges. I want this one bursary. But then when it is taken away from us, then out of the school setup, then there's another committee set out somewhere else to now go do the vetting. Those who have never had opportunity to interact with these learners and their families.
Is this a conversation that NAT and other bodies that are actually dealing with teachers, both of course in the junior, primary, and of course senior school, need to have a conversation with of course TSC and the government and all line stakeholders, so that then we find a common ground where we don't have these disruptions in terms of people, in terms of learners are supposed to be transitioning to 10th grade, but they can't do so because they are in a school. And I'll give you an example, George. Just last week, averagely, each and every day, we're receiving about 10 learners that have not managed to get school fees, or even just the basics to actually enable them to go to school. So these are conversations that you guys can actually take up and with the line institutions.
That if teachers were to be involved in this debate and on the best way to find a better way forward, we do it perfectly well. And I want to let you know, this country has been overtaken by politicians. Politicians have interest, and we are asking ourselves, what interest do they have on managing resources that are supposed to be used on learners when they themselves don't understand the back of these learners? Of course, they're the people who are controlling the resources. But then if they would only give us a space to help them identify the learners, then they give us the resources. We don't have any problem. But you see, even in the bursary committees, if you go to some constituencies, somewhat, you will not even find teachers on the panel. They have just collected their cronies, those who are supporting them, and those who have divergent opinions are now being listened to. So we are saying as teachers, can we get absolutely right? Can we give the sector players an opportunity to help shape up the future of those that they dealt with, those that understand best? Then the resources, those who are not the resources cannot place the resources. Know very well that they won't miss it, and no person who undeserved gets it, because we as for us teachers, we treat our learners equally.
George,
David.
Yes, David. Sector players, not being one of them.
Yes.
The argument has been that when you are crying out for what you want, David, is that you always cry out for what benefits teachers. You NAT and KUPPET and other institutions and organizations tend to forget about this key element that is actually the learners. When are we going to see you guys aggressively discussing issues of the learners in terms of ensuring that first, even as we agitate for our resources as teachers, the personnel involved in teaching, that indeed these learners, also their capitation, first arrives on time, two, those that cannot afford to get resources actually go to school, and they have good environment through which they can actually access this education.
Not as a motto. Our motto is service with justice.
Yes.
It is service to the child and just to the teacher. But you see, what has happened in the recent past is that, when our commandate is now being withdrawn from us, we teach the children in class. We have always cried for resources to be given to schools so that our learners can get proper education. The learning resources, the books, the capitation, the facilities, those are for the learners. But now then, when that is coming out are now being taken by everyone else, then what is left for us? Now to fight for ourselves also. So once the service for the child is assured, then it is now justice to the teacher who is teaching the child.
Yes.
So we are still on it. I want to tell you that teachers are having the learners at heart, and you will always hear teachers after every examination and result released, the teachers are very happy when the learners perform. And in fact, I want to tell you, you have heard the government issuing policies against extra classes, against remedials. And you see, teachers still want to go to classes to teach. To teach who? To teach the children who have not been theirs. Teachers are the only professionals.
David, what is the motivation? Remedial classes. What is the motivation?
The motivation is to do well.
Yes.
But because you know what? Teachers are being appraised. After every year, they are being appraised. So if you don't produce results, your appraisal will rank low. And you know that is what we use even to ask for promotions, even to go anywhere elsewhere. And we ask, what have you done as a teacher? You say, look at my results. It speaks for itself. So the motivation behind us going for even extra classes is to get well appraised, and also to see that our learners also succeed in whatever we teach them in class.
Fantastic. Being well appraised, of course, means that the necessary facilities must actually be there. The personnel must actually be there. You are in a body that now fights for the wellness of teachers, and of course ensuring that indeed, even as they go about the activities, they are well remunerated, the working environment is actually up to date, and everything. You've just been elected into the office. Yes. What are your priorities as you get into this office?
I have not been elected. I have just been re-elected.
Re-elected, yes.
I was serving the last regime. We did our election last Saturday, and I was elected. I want to say, of my team, I was the only one who was re-elected. The rest of my members flopped.
You tell me for a reason.
Yeah, I will do for a reason. And I want to tell you that teachers are speaking. And those of us who are in leadership, those of us who go outside there to serve the teachers and to serve the masses, I want to tell you from what happened during our elections, the teachers are speaking. And what they are speaking should be taken even to the rest of the citizenry, that the led needs to be served. The led need to be given their rights. And I want to assure my teachers, our members from Kisumu City Branch, that we are going to do it. We have done it before. By them re-electing me, that was their reassurance that they have faith in me. I want to tell them that the activities that we have been doing before to fight for their labor rights at their labor space, and also to get them be involved in the running of activities of this country. Because if anything, we also have a right to participate in governance of this country. I think we'll fight for that space for them, and even interact with the county government, the local leaders, the members of parliament, and even the national government, so that teachers can get space to participate.
Priority areas. Someone will be asking, yes, you'll fight for that space, but what are the priority areas? Because when you look at now, we had this discussion last week, and I was on the ground over the weekend, and teachers were saying that some of these facilities are not there, some of these books are not there, and you are going into some of these classes, and you're not sure of what you're supposed to be doing. I spoke to one young teacher in Busia over the weekend, and he was telling me you're walking into class with information that you've actually gathered online. You're not sure what exactly you're supposed to be doing, because you're yet to receive the final details of what you're supposed to be doing in school.
Now, and I want to really say that it's been a challenge as CBE, the Cooperative Education, matures. We are meeting challenge any other year. Like for instance, this year we are getting to senior school. For the first time, that our brothers in senior school are meeting CBE for the first time. And you know how many years? Almost 13 years. 13 years since CBE was brought in. So they're meeting for the first time. So it is a new thing to them. The same way our teachers also had that challenge when it was first introduced. So I want to challenge the government that let them provide resources. Let them provide facilities to our teachers. Let them be taken for retooling in as many times as it can be possible. Let our teachers understand that what is required in the learning areas and the computers required that they need to have before they serve in classrooms. Otherwise, just letting the materials to be on the internet and soft copies, whereas some of our learning students with the challenges of internet connectivity, I think that one is a challenge that should be addressed as a matter of yesterday. So we must ask the government to do it and do it immediately.
We have also walked around and seen some of these private schools adopting digital learning, whereas public schools, and of course given the scarcity of resources in the country, most of them are yet to fully, if any, actually yet to adopt start rolling out digital learning. How then do we move to the next level in terms of ensuring that indeed the government and the sector players, as you actually put it, sit on a table and look at ways of ensuring that, because education is quite expensive in the country, right? But digital learning basically halves the cost of learning in the school. How then do we ensure that we incorporate that so that then we continue cutting costs and allowing people to actually, access this education?
That unlike the 844 system that was there before, the private sector has really got a CBC right. And they've taken that thing. I want to tell you, you walk into our private schools around this place, you realize that they're doing much better in terms of preparedness for CBE. And it's a big challenge of the government, and because and we are asking ourselves, the government has a Minister of ICT, the government has all the resources to put things right. So we're asking ourselves, where are we missing it? And we want to challenge the government. Let those of us who are in this sector be involved fully to help them reach out to do things right, and by aligning the ministries so that the Ministry of ICT works hand in hand with the Ministry of Education, so that our learning, the digital literacy, is well streamlined. Yes.
Because there was a program that saw public secondary schools get digital labs. I don't know how far that has gone, because a number of, I think the last time I counted was around 152 public schools had actually received those digital laboratories. Of course, that is a drop in the ocean.
They're still there, but as you put it, it's a drop in the ocean. We have almost 10,000 secondary schools in the country. And if you can't less than 1,000 schools with digital labs, what about the rest? So that's why you see, even right now, when the learners were transiting from junior school to senior schools, and the secondary school were categorized to C1, C2, you found parents asking to take the children to C1 schools. Because those are the schools who perhaps have super facilities, and then all of us would want to go to schools with those facilities. So it's a big challenge. And that's why we want to ask government. Now that we have gone CBE way, can't we now put resources to our schools to make sure that our schools have digital ICT labs, and even our primary schools and junior schools? Because as we speak today, I want to tell my brother, if you go to our junior schools, our learners are sharp. They're doing better. And if they could be given enough resources, I want to tell you, this country is headed the right way. Yes.
Fantastic, David. David, in conclusion, because we only have 1 minute, so the next time when I tell you to come at 8, you come early.
I will come an hour early.
Yes, yes. In conclusion, just tell us your last remarks before we wrap it up.
My last remark is to appreciate the teachers of this country and ask them to continue doing the good job they're doing to this country. The future of this country depends on how much we give out in terms of how we handle our learners in class, how we teach them, and then we then challenge the government and those who support us, that the job we do must not be taken for granted. So I want to thank teachers. I want to thank you, the media fraternity, for having given us space as teachers, also to air our views and let the rest know that ours is just service and justice. Service to the child, justice to the teacher.
Fantastic, David. Fantastic, David. That is David Obona, the Executive Secretary, NAT Kisumu City Branch, just telling us what he intends to do, and more so his input in terms of what can actually make the sector better. We would have wished to have more discussion in terms of this particular topic, but of course we are time-bound. We expected that probably we'll start earlier. He was informed a bit late, but he managed to come. We do appreciate, on behalf of each and every person who's actually made this possible, our camera operators, Christine Adhiambo, Martin Kibuti, logistics person, Edwin Otieno, our colleague from Mayenga, who is actually ensuring that this broadcast goes live on Mayenga Digital, Philippa Miyawa, and our producer, director, Vincent Achola, and of course the management of this establishment, Mirage Palace Hotel, that continues to give us this space, that then you can have this show every Monday. We say thank you. But also I want to appreciate two fans. One is Mercy Sireka from Nambale, Busia, who keeps watching this program every other morning and appreciates the fact that what we do. Also, there's a guy from Kisumu County called as Carlos. Carlos says that he keeps watching this program. He likes what we continue bringing every other Monday morning, and he says that most definitely he wants more resources, or he wants more information around youth and leadership, and of course also politics. Of course, Carlos, this is something that we'll be doing, and you can be rest assured that of course this is a discussion that we'll continue to have both in politics, both in other sectors, so that then we continue, of course, to inform our people from this part of the country. My name is Achola Simon, and I take you back to Broadcasting House.
Wewe, Katunge, wapi uniform?
Andagaba.
Sijus. Wewe mama.
Apia nade aje sasa. Wewe ni mtu kujiachilia freelancer balance.
Nasikia nimebanwa kuanza supia hata kupumua.
Unampigia nani magoti? Yes, rudi pale ukatengeneze chapati.
Na ndio waamini sitakuwa nakaa hapo. Mimi mambo ya kesi nimeachana naye.
Na hiyo blouse yako ni mzuri.
Tuache madhara wewe.
Wewe nasitukanga namna hii.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji.
Tunaanza kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
fursa za kibiashara, kuongeza thamani, pamoja na teknolojia za kuboresha kilimo.
Ni chakula ambao kwetu sisi inatuletea mapato mazuri, watoto wanasoma vizuri.
Mkulima Kisasa inakupa maarifa,
motisha na suluhu za kurahisisha mazao,
kuongeza kipato na kulisha taifa kwa ujumla.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30,
ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako.
Heard of him, the hospital's president, Mr. Congo.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our hospital. You're very pretty.
Thank you. But now that I'm pregnant, I'm always feeling so nervous.
Hey, don't feel nervous, okay?
This is the most critical time.
Seeing this, it helps me let go of my sadness and forget my troubles.
Usman! Hey, Usman! Usman, are you okay?
With these two hands, I want to save as many children as I can.
She needs surgery.
Only you can do it.
Family Check, it is right here on Good Morning Kenya. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Vivian Degwa, and today we're talking about parenting, and specifically parenting in the digital age and modern career challenges that have risen from that. And I am pleased to have two ladies with me on set. I will begin with my immediate right. That is Elizabeth Kenywa. Elizabeth Kenywa is a life coach. Welcome to the show.
Asante sana.
And right next to Elizabeth, we have Pastor Paul Blessing, and Pastor Paul Blessing is the director, Star with Paul. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about parenting in the digital age.
Yeah.
Let me first begin with just asking, maybe how different is it parenting in the digital age compared to how it was parenting back then? Just how different is it?
Very different. Very different, because I'll take you back to an age that probably you were not born and we were young, right? We were raised by a community. And as time progressed, now when you were born, you are now raised by the family. As we progress, we introduce nannies, okay? And now we have a fourth party in the equation called the digital space. Now, the digital space seems to be louder than everyone else. Remember, community parenting has been totally eliminated. You cannot spank your neighbor's child.
No, you cannot.
Previously, we were spanked by our neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's eliminated. So now the digital one seems to be taking the bigger chunk of speaking into the lives of everyone, not just children. Speaking into the life of the parent, speaking to the life of the teachers, the system, and most of the children. And the volume is quite high. Now that's where we have a big challenge.
Yeah. So from your point of view, Paul, how different is it?
Yeah, just as she has said, it has really changed. And the child was for everyone. And you couldn't even get into a vehicle and the child will just look, this is a parent, he has to move. Nowadays, that kind of space where they have come to, they don't have, not because they don't have respect, but the kind of molding that even the parent is making. This is my child, yeah, and you cannot touch. And now, when it comes now to the digital now, which is on the ground, in fact, it's like the learning is coming from the digital, then the teachers, the students, and everybody else. There's a know-it-all. They know so much. Anything that you ask, they can answer you. They'll ask a question as that for this, I don't know, they call them grade what nowadays. The kind of question they ask you, even a personal question, and they look at you, yeah, it's a question you have to answer. They have that boldness, which we didn't have. So then they will tell you things that they have discovered. And you say, surely, these are open space, which can be dangerous, can be also of value, if it's used the right way. Yes.
And, just speaking of that, I remember there was a time we were saying, it's very different. Parenting now is very different. You can't be the authoritarian like our parents or, our fathers were back then, where it was their word or the highway. But now you can't do that. Back then even your mother would just give you an eye and hapa kumedoka, But nowadays you look at a child trying to pass a message like that and they'll ask you, ni nini ma'am? Bora unaniangalia hivi.
Stress.
Yeah, so I can imagine just how different it is right now. And speaking of the digital age, of course now we get into the screens. And nowadays screen time is can be used even as a toy, because when a child is crying, amesumbua huko, they're given their tablets,
Pacifier.
they're given a phone. You know, the phones are now the pacifiers.
Yeah.
Unampatia ananyamaza. Just like, what are the dangers of such?
Well, the danger is, before we get to the danger, allow me to say, we also, the negative side of it, the positive, is that we have a very knowledgeable generation.
Yeah.
But you know, knowledge is not equal to wisdom. So we cannot totally rule out the older generation.
Yeah.
You still need to come back to them to seek wisdom. Because wisdom is not loaded in a gadget. Wisdom is loaded in a human being who's gone through life, through seasons and episodes of it, to be able to come out and say, I conquered, I overcame, I was able to navigate this challenge. Back to the challenges that are there. I'm actually scared because we are raising a very isolated generation. Isolated in the sense that you have this child who will be seated with a gadget, and when you withdraw the gadget, the child doesn't know that they should go out and play. And I was somewhere speaking to people and I told them, in 2018, in the UK, they slotted a minister for loneliness. Why? Because there was a generation that was going through loneliness, isolation, and depression.
Yeah.
Do you know, if we are not careful here,
that's where we are
going. These things are totally isolating you. Even as an adult, we can be seated here having a conversation and somebody is totally disconnected.
Yeah.
So they're just smiling at a gadget and you're wondering what is actually happening. It's because gadgets can isolate someone completely.
Yeah, so what you're saying, we're getting to a point where we won't have social interaction
Exactly.
skills.
It will be very difficult.
We have to bring it back.
So you can imagine part of what that minister was supposed to come up with is craft, interaction, kind of engagements. Can you imagine what we basically go out here and tell our children, go out and play? Now we have someone who has to sit down and craft for us ways and models as to how we can get to play.
Yeah.
If you zoom close, and I'm sure you're on social media, we're almost there, because then over the Christmas season, you could see there are spaces where they are telling you, come with your car, park your car, we charge you 500 to just come and sit under a tree. Here, not in London.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay? So what does that tell you? That we do not know how to socialize. We cannot disconnect from the gadget and have a life outside the space of a gadget. Okay? Again, delayed speech on children. I mean, this is a massive, massive challenge.
Yeah.
If I have an 8-year-old, fine, he's not experienced delayed milestones in speech, but that's a major challenge we experience with other children in his class. That children cannot speak well, they cannot express them well, and yet they're not autistic. Simply because there was something else controlling
their
everything.
mind.
Yeah. You know, on the same pal, you know, like, are we getting to a point where we are really losing that social interaction skills? But someone else may say, but we are gaining some other things. I mean, they're learning more on that is where the future is, so they're going to be great, you know, with this or that. The future is AI and all of that. So what's your take on that?
What I will say is that there is a need for mentoring, balancing, guiding, and supporting. Because if you make it like open, like there's a lot they are going to learn there. As she said, knowledge is not wisdom. And the main wisdom comes from the Word of God. I have grandchildren, they came to, actually they are cartoons, they are just trying to push into. Then I said, why can't we do a quiz for the Bible? You see, so whatever is there, can it be guided? So that there's something going to learn which is going to be of value, spiritually and also intellectually. Because you leave them alone, I tell you, everything is passing by. Inappropriate content is coming. And those things are boosted. So when you boost, it will just appear.
Yeah.
So you don't know when that gadget you have left as if just to make them happy, what comes there. And you know, anything that you see, we usually say the eyes is the highway to your heart. It goes straight to your heart. Then that child is corrupted in the mind. And you find someone who is like, they are thinking, they are speaking, you don't know the kind of person you have there. They are already corrupted in their mind. So there's need for mentoring, supporting, and guiding. And if possible, let there be times that, you know, you just withdraw the phone from them. You also cause a problem. So you need, nowadays you have to dialogue. The children of today, you have, not like us, you have to see the dialogue, bring sense. Let them understand the risk. Yeah, there's a cyberbullying. They will find it there. They'll be bullied. So if you don't guide them, they just come and find it. They go into it that you don't know. So it's good to support, to guide, and to mentor. And also make sure, let's say, dining table, no phone. Even for us parents, we may talk about the children. But even us, we are getting lost. We are going to look at something, but you find something funny. You start laughing and you forget even what you wanted to find. So, however it's about children, even the grown-ups, it's something that it's like a digital addiction that needs to be controlled.
Yeah.
There must be balance in everything, because whatever they are finding, you don't need like when people say that you watch movies to understand, then you find someone watching a horror movie. What will horror give you? Blood. Then you find someone killing, you say, how did they do that? You allow them to see. What they see with their eyes, they store in their heart. What they hear with their ears, they store in their heart. Then the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. It will give out. That's what I think. We need to guard. Let don't be just an open space that you just watch, you just do, you find what you find and you just watch it. You'll find these shit, they are above you. Yeah, and they know a lot.
And you know, also right now we are also in the age where everyone is busy. You know, and by everyone I mean the parents, the guardians. The economy isn't looking so good, so you need to do a lot of things in order for you to ensure that you're bringing in that you're bringing that money back home. So probably some parents may say, I don't really have time for me to sit and supervise what these children are looking or are watching on their gadgets. I don't really have the time to keep being there and speaking to them all the time, because I need to be out there to ensure I'm keeping them in school, to ensure they are well fed, to ensure there's a roof over their heads. So for such parents, like, what would be the alternative?
Vivian, I'm a believer and I advocate for life is lived in seasons. And in every season you get in to maximize it. Now when the children come in and you're ready for marriage, to get the babies and they're coming, that's a season on its own.
Invest for that.
That has really opened up, right? So you can't keep running at the same pace you're running when you are single. Your hands are now getting fuller. You had a job, fine, and you must continue or should continue with this job. But the adjustments you have to make, okay? I know what I'm going to say is not popular. This is what I always advocate for. When your children are younger, always have 3 things in your hands. What do I delegate? What can I defer? What can I delete completely? Because there are things you have to delete the minute the children land. You like it or not, okay? So which ones are those ones that I'm going to totally delete? Click, ignore, and delete. What can I defer? When your child is 3 years old, what are you doing pursuing a master's? I know, I said it's not going to be popular.
It's not popular.
Okay? Yes. What are you doing pursuing a master's when your child is not yet even enrolled in school? Okay? And I believe you can always speak life after, once you put a comma. Then know what to delegate, because your hands are full. What do I delegate? Unfortunately, we delegate everything. We delegate childcare, we delegate nurturing the child. We no longer nurture. That's a delegated assignment to somebody else to do it for us. And when they do it very well, we are really on them very hard. So who is speaking into the lives of children? Because there's so much noise. But you know, you've got to be very intentional that as a parent, your voice in the midst of the forest is the loudest that your child can pick. The teacher will speak into the lip of your child. Okay? Social media will speak. Peers will speak. Where is your voice as a parent? And it cannot be heard when you're absent. So know when to, what to delegate, to defer, and then you're able to know, then your child you can utilize and maximize the opportunity. Otherwise, we will get to the place where when your children are older and they are moved on with life, you start chasing them to take care of their grandchildren, quote unquote, but you're trying to compensate for the lost time that you never spent with your children.
So that hustle culture is harming the next generation.
And it's a lie from hell.
I've seen some people, what they do, they want to nurture and also maybe to be able to, okay, maybe they don't delete, maybe they may not defer, but they kind of say control in a different way. Let's say you put CCTV in your house, so wherever you are, whatever happens, you are seated like that. So whatever the nanny is doing, When the children are watching, you can see what they are watching. When they see something which is right, what is that? You can stop it. So that one you will be also doing what you are doing, but still you are watching. But nowadays there's a total disconnect between these people. Disconnect. And you don't even understand them. They don't understand you. And the other thing, as we said the other day, you must have a relationship between the teacher and the parent and the nanny. Because sometimes we make noise to the nannies and you want them to take care of the children. And you leave them upset. They are human. When someone is upset, they will not do what you want. However much you may try to control. But I think, as she was saying, that there are things that you should delete and say, this cannot be done at this age. But you find that because of that peer pressure, you need to dialogue. Don't use force. In that delete. Nowadays, don't use force. Make sure, let them understand. Let's talk. Nowadays, a 9-year-old is very wise. You sit down and with them tell, this is where we want to go. And to get to where we want to go, these are things we have to stop. We have to balance this for our growth as a family. What do you think? I tell you, you find they are wise. They'll come and accept with you. Then you walk on the same path. But when you use force, you also shut them. They may say yes, and they keep quiet. Silent treatment in the house, and you lose them. So you need also to guard their emotions on how you, because nowadays you can't use force. What do you think?
Well, that is true. And I wish to clarify, when I say delete, delegate, defer, it is the parent delegating responsibilities and assignments that concern the nurturing of the children.
I understood that.
Yes. In terms of using the kind of abrasiveness, it will not work. It actually backfire on you, because by the time they get to teenagehood, they just shut the door, shut the system, shut emotionally.
They shut you out.
You can't really get through to them. And so what
and they become suicidal.
Yes, and so you can't come in. That's why I said you can't come in at a certain level. Now you want to start bridging the gap. You start working with them through every age and stage of their life.
Through
if you're
dialogue.
Constantly missing even parents' activities in school in the name of looking for money. Money has never been enough, Vivian. Look at the corruption cases we have in Kenya. Who is stealing? The poor? It is not the poor stealing. It is those who already have it, and they already. So money will never be enough. So that's one of the justification I always say. And allow me to go back to scripture. Scripture says contentment with godliness until you get to the place of contentment. Now, contentment, I don't say that I stop, having dreams and ambitions that are big. But yes, I can put them on hold for now, then pursue them later, or find a way of just navigating around some of these things. If I'm transferred to Moyale, when my child is 3 years, can I kindly request that I be retained even if it was a promotion? There are people who've done that, and eventually they have worked and gotten to that space.
I hear you mentioning 3 years a lot. Is that the crucial age?
I can remember in the morning, your colleague here said that he took his phone and gave to a 3-year-old child. Then they downloaded a cartoon and he just put his legs across and he was away. And I found that it was 3 years old.
3 years right now, I can say is like the new 10. Smart, sharp, even in how they argue, how they may not be very clear in everything, but you can tell at the stage where we were arguing at 10 years, they're almost at that level now. Okay? So even digitally, they are very, very sharp, very smart. So that's why I'm keeping on referring to 3. Because if you come in at 10, the tree is already grown. It will be a little bit hard to bend it. But they still
you're getting 15, you're coming out of the child.
Samaki mkunje angali mbichi.
Exactly.
Now, there's also another thing that comes about with social media. So do you feel like with this new age now, it's even like for you as parents and as guardians, is it now very important for you to intentionally ensure that you're instilling self-worth in your child, to ensure that you're instilling confidence in your child? Because now with social media, there's a lot of comparisons. There's a lot of, as you were mentioning, bullying. There's a lot of, I want to base my validation on the number of likes I'm getting online. I've posted this photo. How many people are saying I look beautiful? No one has said I look beautiful. What am I supposed to do to...
And you go to depression.
Yes, so there's that also. So does this mean that as parents, you work much harder in terms of ensuring you're teaching your child self-worth, confidence, and just being true to yourself?
That's why I said your voice has to be the loudest.
Voice.
Amongst the other voices. Affirm your child before everyone else does. You cannot affirm your child in a long distance kind of... She will, you want to do things, bring gifts, bring packages because you're flying left, right, and center, and assume that they will quickly interpret that to mean, I love you. No. Tell your daughter, tell your daughter, you are beautiful, baby girl. Okay?
Yeah.
I wish my daughter can confirm this because they're watching. And I tell them, you're beautiful regardless of what everyone else would want to say. Because they're going into that space also, into that digital space. On the other hand, I also challenge parents. You may not be as swift in understanding everything that is digital, but you cannot operate in ignorance. Assume, that's their own space. I don't know what happens there. Have some knowledge. Because when a child comes to talk to you about TikTok, what is TikTok? Wachana na hiyo kitu. You simply dismiss it. Is TikTok bad 100%? No. So then how will you be able to speak about something you have zero info about? When they talk to you about Instagram, what happens in Instagram? You may not necessarily understand everything, but have a little bit of know-how of what is happening. And you know who is your best teacher? Your child. Express interest to know, and they teach you very well. Mommy, this is what happens. This is Instagram, when you post this, and then nidini, and all that stuff. A parent took their phone to the police station. I'm sure probably you've come across a story on social media. And they simply wanted to know, who is this bullying my child on Instagram? And the unfortunate bit is that once you post something on Instagram, you may not be able to retrieve it. It's not like WhatsApp where you can say you deleted and someone can tell you deleted. You can't
Internet
track it.
keeps history.
You can't track it, okay? And so that's a big challenge on its own. So this mother was extremely frustrated. Who can be your best teacher? Your own child. And that's why they also start building trust in you. And they go like, hey, mom, squeeze you, mesha, then you know you've got it. Yeah.
The other thing I think is that we just need to, as she has said, that confidence in the child. You know, there are people that when you are bitter, you tell them, tabia kama za baba yako. That thing goes into their bone marrow. But if you tell them, call them king, call them queen, call those big names, that child, even when they are walking the street, you can't push them. They will respect you, but they know who they are. Because the mother said they are good. Okay? So when we say that, even if they are bullied, they can say, you can't say this to me. Because my mother said I'm better. You see? So when it comes from home, and when they go out to the space, they can find and say, no, this one I have to stop. But if they have not found any love, the first love, I love you, is coming from Instagram, they will fall to anything, any bullying. And they will be lost. At the same time, as you have said, social media is very good. It has made people to grow. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of good things there. So we just need to know what is wrong and what is good. And at what age should someone get into this? Yes. That's my view.
Yeah, and I think that should be, we should laud that. The fact that you speak life into your child. You speak life into them so much that anyone else's voice or noise can't get to them at all. Because, I mean, social media is a very tricky place to navigate. Because someone will just wake up and decide to abuse you.
We have keyboard warriors.
Yes, and that is what they do best. So if from home you don't have that coverage whereby you know this is me, you know who you are and nothing can shake you, it can really go south for someone who doesn't have that at home. Kwa sababu, over there are people who are just psycho.
Allow me to add something. I know you're when we used to watch this station, Kitambo, before you were born.
keep saying that she was born yesterday.
we had this abracadabra.
Yeah, the magician?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what is the meaning of abracadabra? It says, you speak you create.
Ah.
You speak, you create.
Okay.
So what are we speaking?
What
Because
are we
that which we
creating?
speak,
Yeah.
we are creating.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
So the magician was not wrong. They were simply speaking.
What's the instruments of creation?
Yeah.
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 And they not go back. If you are spoken, it has gone.
Yeah, once it's spoken, it's
gone.
out there. You can never take your words back. So still, something else that comes now with this digital age is the career choices. And the career choices now have changed, and I don't know if the proper word to say it, they've morphed into something else. You know, it's not like back in the day when you would go into a class, maybe grade 1 class, and you ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? Or grade 3, let's say grade 3. What do you want to be when you grow up? That time it was doctor, lawyer, pilot, teacher, you know, those kinds of careers. But right now, trust me, if you go to a class, a grade 3 class, and ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? You'll hear several, I want to be an influencer. You know? You will hear several, I'll become a streamer like I Show Speed. You will hear several, I want to become a TikTok dancer. And, you know, you'll hear more of those than you could back then.
Their space.
Yeah, so there's that space also. And I don't know how parents should navigate that, because now as a parent, maybe you're wondering, what do you mean you want to become an influencer? And as you say, you have no knowledge of the social media space. You've not taken time to know actually what can an influencer do. Is this an actual career now? So for parents now, navigating that space of your child wants to become this thing that you have no idea about now, and you're just wondering.
Well, it's that space has evolved in the sense that previously we had stationed computers. Okay, let's begin from there. The computers were stationed at the workspace. So you would shut the computer, go home, and nobody would look for you, because there were no phones. And I think that was a very good life. Because you would totally disconnect. Yes, you would totally disconnect from everything and have time to relax, you know, and reflect. Now we've moved to the place where you're as mobile as your job. Your laptop, you don't even need a laptop. Your iPhone, your everything can give you everything you want, your emails, access to any information that you'd want. Now, what has that has also done is caused a lot of job insecurity and anxiety. Because even those in the system, you're worried you'll be replaced. You can be replaced anytime. That's a reality. And the only thing that I know and I'm confident of, yes, AI is here, seeming like a threat. But the reality of it is that if those of us who are maximizing on AI and the advancement in technology will reap massively from it. And so this is my encouragement to every parent: don't shut. I know change sometimes is very threatening, very worrying, very troubling, because we want children to pursue the conventional career paths. But those ones are no longer viable.
We are evolving.
They are not viable. During the COVID season, children were learning from where? From home.
Online.
And that's when now everybody should have woken up to the reality that my job, there's no surety in it. Previously, you'd enter a job at 25 and Joshua by 60 you retire.
From the same
and progress.
Yes.
Now you can be cut halfway there because a lot is changing. So to the parents, accept the new reality, the new normal, okay, of your child. Talk with your child, get to know what is it that they need. Then into that space that they are growing into, because I have a grade 10 child, and we've gone through those, I'm not speaking from experience. You're told your child needs to know their career path, and you're like, whoa, here we are, at 14.
At 14, career path, imagine.
So you see, so you go through, you try to interrogate and all that. So some of the things that you can probably do to be able to work with your child, especially in career, try do some psychometric tests. Yes, a psychometric test. If you're not satisfied with one, then you do another one. And I'm sure we now have systems and bodies out here that are able to give you proper data findings when a psychometric test is done on your child. Then it zeroes you down to how you can be able to guide the child in their career path. You will not die on, unaongeanga sana, you can become a lawyer. Yeah, thank you.
I would say that I have a 9-year-old grandchild, who is a footballer. And I think he's going even out to Spain in March for football that age.
Yeah.
So when he sleeps, you go and find him sleeping. You find even his dreams like it's like this. He's still playing football. Then you see, so exactly that's where he is. So what I can say is that we have to accept that. At times we are told that you have to become a doctor. We have now, as she has said, let us walk with them through, but help them to understand what is the best thing to become. Bring like 4 careers, discuss, and see their views. Then they can be able also to pick. Otherwise, they pick what they find out there because you not guide them.
That's true.
And especially even now in our communication. Do you know sometimes, even us, we don't talk with the children. We communicate through gadgets. Even we are in the same house, but we don't even talk. At work, communicate. You come, you are tired, you go to sleep, you're on a gadget, the children have gone to sleep. They talk more with the nanny and all that. But we need to come out of just that physical presence and find its time. Even if it's just eating together and make sure no phone on the table.
All right.
Yes.
As we almost come to a conclusion of the conversation because of time, if you could change one thing, you know, about parenting in the digital age, what would it be?
The availability of parents. It has really diminished. Vivian, you go to a parents' meeting in school and your heart bleeds. Okay? Because we are very busy. We are sending our nannies to school to represent us. And that, for me, is worrying. Very worrying. Because a nanny is the most, they're the most people on transition within the family unit. They are here today and gone tomorrow. Okay? Here today. Even if they stayed for 12 years, they are not permanent. For you and your children and your family, what will separate you is not even marriage, it's death. So this is a long term, but you're bringing in someone in between too close to be able to intercept in your child's life. So are you sure when this nanny goes and picks your child's report form in school, and they're able to see your child is not performing very well, they are below average, how is that relationship going to be at home? This nanny is going to blackmail your child with this performance when you're not there. How are you going to handle that when you're totally absent? And so for me, what I would change, what I would advocate for, what I'm advocating for, let us be intentionally present. There's an opportunity cost to it, of course, because the money and everything will really not balance, but an opportunity cost is when you forgo one thing to pursue another. That would be my take.
For me, I would advocate let's balance, because careers are different. There's someone where they work, when they want to be there, you find that there's a problem. So just try to balance, support, mentor, and also find a way how to when you find time, dialogue. Make them know that this is what I would like you to have and what do you think, so that you can be able to walk the same path peacefully and also grow the best person that you want to see in your life.
So speak to your children as much as you can.
Yeah.
All right, that was the time we had for Family Check this morning. I am sure that you have gotten to pick a thing or two from this very, very needed conversation that was parenting in the digital age. My guest today was Pastor Pearl Blessing, who's the director, Star with Pearl, and then Elizabeth Kenyua, who is a life coach. Thank you so much. On behalf of everyone who has made the show a success, we wish you a lovely day. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
To run a marathon in under 2 hours, beating the mark by 20 seconds. The Kenyan, aged 34, covered the 26.2 miles, that's 42.2 kilometers, in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds in the Ineos 159 challenge in Vienna, Austria. It will not be recognized as the official marathon world record because it was not in open competition, and he used a team of rotating pacemakers. The Olympic champion, who holds the official marathon world record of 2 hours, 1 minute and 39 seconds, set in Berlin, Germany in 2018, missed out by 25 seconds in a previous attempt at the Italian Grand Prix circuit at Monza in 2017. Knowing he was about to make history on the home straight, the pacemakers dropped back to let Kipchoge sprint over the line alone, rode on by a large crowd in the Austrian capital. The four-time London Marathon winner embraced his wife Grace, grabbed a Kenyan flag and was mobbed by his pacemakers, including many of the world's best middle and long-distance runners. Kipchoge, who compared the feat to being the first man on the moon in build-up to the event, said he had made history, just as Britain's Sir Roger Bannister did in running the first sub-4-minute mile in 1954. To break the mark, he had to run 100 meters in 17.08 seconds, 422 times in a row at a speed of 21 kilometers per hour. The attempt was funded by petrochemicals company Ineos, owned by Britain's richest man, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, which also sponsors the cycling team of the same name.
Eliud Kipchoge has the hand of history on his shoulder. He has less than 200 meters to go. Eliud Kipchoge, let's keep an eye on the clock, into the final 20 seconds. Eliud Kipchoge, on his shoulder, 140, the unofficial time.
There's his wife.
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books in Vienna. 1:59:40, the unofficial time. The first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours. One final lung-busting stride for Kipchoge. One giant leap for human endeavor. And you know, Kipchoge was right. No human is limited.
It takes 65 years for a human being to make history in sport. After Roger Bannister made history in 1954, it took another 63 years. I tried and I did not get. Now it's 65 years. I have tried. I'm the happiest man to run under 2 hours in order to inspire many people, to tell people that no human is limited. You can do it. I'm expecting more of the athletes in this all over the world to run under 2 hours after today.
I can't tell you the joy that is radiating from all of the pacemakers, the Ineos team, everyone who has made this possible. His coach, Patrick, he's been with since he was a young boy, grew up in the same village, and these scenes are joyous out here. The family as well. Lynn, Jordan and Griffin, the children next to his wife, Grace, just a little way away from us. They're kind of overwhelmed by what their father and husband has done.
Still in the moon, I'm here to come down to Heart. I'm really excited. I'm happy for him, for what he has achieved. He's actually inspired inspired all of us that we can stretch our limits in our lives and we can do more than we think we can do.
Whoa! On his shoulder, 140, the unofficial time.
There's his wife.
World marathon record holder Eliud Kipchoge has been honored with the highest honor in the nation for his achievements in athletics. President Uhuru Kenyatta awarded Kipchoge Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart, EGH, in honor of Kenya's heroes, past, present, and future. Eliud achieved a rare feat, albeit guided, running a 42-kilometer course in 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds in Vienna in Ineos 159 Challenge. For his feat, proving that no human is limited indeed. Kipchoge was honored during this year's Mashujaa Day in Mombasa by President Uhuru. The EGH award is the second class ranked out of the 3 which are issued by the President in recognition of outstanding services rendered to the nation in various capacities and responsibilities. The first class is the Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya, which is held by the President. The third class award is the Moran of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya, MGH. World marathon record holder Eliud Kipchoge has been named the Male Athlete of the Year for the second consecutive time. The 35-year-old made history after running a sub-2-hour marathon in the Ineos Challenge last month in Vienna. Kipchoge, the winner of the award last year, added to his phenomenal marathon CV in 2019 after capturing his 4th victory at the London Marathon in April with a 2 hours, 2 minutes and 37 seconds course record, the 3rd fastest performance of all time.
Athletics Male Athlete of the Year is Eliud Kipchoge.
You only got one shot to make it. One shot, you take it. One shot, take it.
The main man is about to step forward. Is this the coronation of the ultimate distance running king? We are about to find out. Sit back, relax, and savor every single second. This is the Tokyo 2020 Men's Olympic Marathon. Kipchoge's quest for greatness is once again underway, but there are many, many other world-class men in this field who will feel they have more than a good chance of stopping his domination and ensuring they become Olympic marathon champion.
Little laugh going on here and a thumbs up from Kipchoge, so they're still obviously fairly relaxed.
That is a very dangerous sign for the rest of the field. For him to be that relaxed as we edge towards the halfway stage, Jane, tells you that Eliud Kipchoge is running well within himself. So this group now down to around about 10 or 11. And look at this. For the first time, Eliud Kipchoge has made a definitive move with a little over 10 kilometers remaining. Wow. Kipchoge, sooner than we may have expected, is laying down the gauntlet and saying, okay, if you want to wrestle this gold medal away from me, come and join this pace, because I'm serious. I've got history beckoning me home here, and I'm going to deliver. Wow. His move has been absolutely definitive, and the race is playing out exactly as he would have hoped and expected. And
if he's feeling as comfortable as he's looking, he's on his way to a very, very special win.
If anyone can endure pain as well, you've got to think that it's Kipchoge. He just looks too relaxed. He almost looks like he's out for a Sunday run.
Yeah. This is a man totally in control. He is nothing short of poetry in motion.
Extending his lead off the other athletes there. You can see that distance. It looks to me like around about 100 metres now.
I think that could be more than 100 metres now, but it's a sizable lead. He can bask in the glory and really soak up every second of the last few kilometres, assuming he can keep this going. It's a staggering lead at the moment, and he seems to be doing it with such unbelievable ease.
There's our leader, Kipchoge, the defending champion, of course, as well, the world record holder and the only man ever to have run under 2 minutes for the marathon at the 38-kilometre mark, under 4K to go. Well, less than 2 kilometres now for this almighty legend of our sport. In fact, I'd have to say almighty legend of the human species, because we talk about Usain Bolt having been the fastest human ever on the earth. Well, this is the man that can run the fastest marathon ever, and the event has been going at this level since 1896, and so it's a great human story. It's about human endeavour, isn't it? What is humanly possible. And Kipchoge has changed our thoughts around that with the marathon.
Take a moment to reflect on a career of dominance that has lasted 2 decades. He has readjusted the boundaries of what many thought was possible. That's the view that Eliud Kipchoge had in his dreams. He's on his way to history. Many said he was the greatest of all time before this race, but there was one last challenge: to become the 3rd man in history to successfully defend the Olympic marathon title. And he's going to do it, effortlessly floating away from the rest of the field. We've never seen his like before. We'll never see his like again. Eliud Kipchoge, the icon, the champion, is the gold medalist once more. It was never in doubt. What a man, what an achievement, and what a moment. Of everything he's done, of everywhere he's been, this will mean the most. Eliud Kipchoge.